Chapter 221. Gu Lingqing didn't quite understand what Baiya meant. Did she not want to answer his question directly, or did she just want him to look? He frowned slightly and kissed her lips. Baiya stepped back. That's not what I meant. Then what do you mean? Gu Lingqing asked. Let me tell you something. Do you know why college students are more likely to do intimate things like hugging and living as if there's no one else around? Baiya asked. She was indeed avoiding his question. Gu Lingqing's eyes turned cold. Say it. It was just a simple word, but it was full of harshness and vaguely displeasure. Baiya could ignore it. She analyzed it from a professional point of view. Firstly, it's the influence of the atmosphere. This kind of hugging and kissing behavior is common in school. No one will think it's awkward and special. Secondly, this is the age where people are the most impulsive. Hormones are easily triggered, and they are controlled by some kind of primitive impulse. Thirdly, they haven't really stepped into society. They have experienced fewer setbacks and experiences, so they don't think much. They don't care about other people's opinions and do whatever they want. Does what you're saying have anything to do with me? Gu Lingqing was still sulking and looked at her with burning eyes. Baiya looked back at him and didn't hide. Gu Lingqing actually understood what she was trying to say. Baiya, I think sometimes you like to say half of what you say and let others guess the other half. Baiya smiled. You actually guessed it, right? It might not be so hurtful to express it tactfully. Gu Lingqing pressed the back of her head and kissed her lips. Baiya didn't push him away. His red tongue entered her mouth. It was strong and fierce, no less than the pair of students. He swallowed all of her breath and poured his own breath into her body. Gu Lingqing only let go of her when the lady boss came to serve the dishes. Baiya blushed. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of her mouth. Firstly, the atmosphere here is really good. Secondly, the impulse doesn't lie in the age, but in the partner. Thirdly, kissing you was a decision I made after careful consideration. Baiya turned her face away. Her heart was beating too fast. For a moment just now, it really felt like the feeling of first love. She got rid of all distracting thoughts, but when she thought of the kiss in public, she still felt very shy. The lady boss was already used to this kind of kissing scene. She smiled at Baiya and said, "The drinks are here. Let's have the jarred chicken and braised pork with preserved vegetables first. As for the other two dishes, you can wait for another 20 minutes. Now that we've opened 2 pots, they'll be ready very quickly." "Thank you, lady boss," Baiya said embarrassedly. Gu Lingqing opened the can and poured some for Baiya. "How did it feel to kiss you just now?" Baiya felt guilty. She had always been thin-skinned. She couldn't say it out loud, so she took a big sip of the drink. "I felt pretty good." It was very free, Gu Lingqing said to himself. He picked up the drink and took a sip. Baiya looked at him. He was looking at her with a burning gaze. His eyes were filled with her. It was like a whirlpool, sucking her in and never letting her out again. The cheers of the students rang out. Baiya felt awkward. She looked away and looked at the TV. The Lakers scored. "Do you like to watch basketball?" Gu Lingqing asked. "When I was in America, I went to watch a few NBA games," Baiya said casually. Her gaze was still on the game. Gu Lingqing didn't change his expression. "Which team do you like?" "I don't have a particular preference. The game I watched was between the Lakers and the Clippers. The Lakers won. I just wanted to feel the atmosphere and observe the expressions of the characters," Baiya explained. "For homework." Gu Lingqing guessed. "Did you notice anything after watching it?" Baiya smiled and looked at Gu Lingqing. "Yes, I wrote a thesis and published it. Not only did I get a good fee, but I was also praised by my tutor. After that, many companies approached me and I earned a lot of money. Gu Lingqing liked the confident smile on her face. Her confidence was gentle like water. It made his soul happy. How did you earn money? I'm curious. Actually, this has to do with a country's culture and acceptance level. In our country, there aren't many people who accept psychology. Even if some people know that they have psychological problems, they won't go to see a doctor. It's the same for depression. But overseas, it's common for them to see a psychologist. That's why there are many psychological clinics. After I reported it, many sales companies would invite me to teach their employees. I understand the hearts of customers and use their micro-expressions to reflect their real needs. After I became famous, the FBI also invited me to help. After solving a few cold cases, I often appeared in the newspapers and on TV. I'm well known in the industry. After that, many successful people would meet me alone. Bai Ye gave a simple introduction. You have the ability to enjoy this achievement. It's what you should do. Gu Lingqing felt that it was a pity that he didn't experience such an exciting process with her. He ate a mouthful of braised pork with preserved vegetables. Bai Ye observed his expression. She couldn't tell whether he thought it was delicious or not. For most people, there was a small part that was different from ordinary people and hard to understand. Bai Ye lowered her head to eat. Maybe she hadn't eaten well for a few days, or maybe the food here had the taste of her memories. Before the tofu Christian carp and winter melon ribs were served, she finished a bowl. When the tofu Christian carp and winter melon ribs were served, she ate another bowl. Gu Lingqing saw that she ate a lot and was in a good mood, so he ate 2 bowls with her. When I came, I saw many motels and hotels near the school. We'll stay here tonight. Gu Lingqing was stating the facts. Luckily, Bai Ye had already finished eating, or she would have spat out her food. Stay here. I'm tired. Gu Lingqing only said 2 simple words. How about I drive? Bai Ye asked tentatively. It's tiring to drive. Bai Ye, because it wasn't a Friday or Saturday, there were many rooms near the university. Gu Lingqing brought Bai Ye to an express hotel. He took out his ID, not his military ID. The receptionist looked at Gu Lingqing's ID, then at Gu Lingqing. She looked at Bai Ye's ID, then at Bai Ye. She had a strange expression on her face and checked them in. The expression on the girl's face just now was very strange. Why? Gu Lingqing asked. We don't look like students at our age. Her expression was strange. She must have thought of a lot of abnormal information. Bai Ye didn't care and said with a smile. What abnormal information? Gu Lingqing looked at Bai Ye and asked. He looked calm, but a little guilty. Was the message he was trying to convey that obvious? For example, having an affair. Bai Ye explained. Chapter 222. Gu Lingqing frowned slightly and held Bai Ye's waist, pulling her to his side. Can't a student's parent do it? They were clearly legally married, okay? Even if he wanted her, it was only natural. Bai Ye chuckled. How can a student's parent be so young? A student's brother and sister-in-law. Is this okay? The address on my ID is not far from here, less than an hour away. I don't live at home and came here. It's normal for her to think wrongly. Gu Lingqing turned around and pressed Bai Ye against the wall. Then do something. My wound is not healed yet. Bai Ye rejected him tactfully. I know how not to hurt you. Gu Lingqing lowered his voice and said in a hoarse voice. Bai Ye blushed all the way to her ears. Gu Lingqing did not wait for her to think clearly. He carried her into the room and went straight to the bathroom. The wound is already scabbed. I can wash it myself. Baya shyly wanted to get down. It's not like I haven't seen it before. I'll wash it for you. Gu Lingqing said domineeringly and put Baya down. Can I take a bath? Baya shook her head. It's best not to do it before the scar falls off. You can only use the shower to wash it. Okay. Gu Lingqing responded and unbuttoned her shirt. Most of it had healed, except for the deepest part of her chest. He touched it with his finger and brushed it. How did you get hurt here? When I found out that you went to see Zhou Hailan, I lost my temper and smashed everything in your room. I tripped myself while walking and happened to hit a piece of porcelain. Baya laughed as she said, Did you think that you deserve it? But when she thought of the situation at that time, her heart still ached. In terms of dealing with relationships, she had 2 failed relationships. So, she was more sensitive and less confident. She knew she had a problem. It's also my problem. I was shocked to find out that Harland was still alive. When I went to see her, I realized that she was very different from before. Half of her body was burned in the fire, and she was imprisoned by the enemy for a few years. After she was rescued, she kept looking for information and went crazy. First of all, I was afraid that you would be angry, so I didn't tell you. Secondly, she wasn't in the right state of mind. I waited until she fell asleep before I left. I didn't know you'd hurt yourself. I'm sorry. Gu Lingqing apologized sincerely. Baya's eyes were a little red. For me, it's better for her to be alive than dead. I should feel lucky, Baya said meaningfully. Ha! Gu Lingqing was confused. She just smiled, took the initiative to wrap her arms around the back of Gu Lingqing's neck, and gave her a kiss. Her lips were cold and unusually soft. It was rare for her to take the initiative. He held her waist, pulled her to his side, and deepened the kiss. His breathing gradually became uneven. Her heart was pressed against her heart. A certain part had also awakened, and it was pressed against her abdomen. Baya closed her eyes, and her eyelashes trembled slightly. It was not until she was panting from the kiss that Gu Lingqing let go of her. After the 2 of them showered, he carried her to the bed. Baya thought he would come to her directly. He had always been domineering, tough and domineering. But he didn't, and his hand was on her knee. Baya was shy, and she turned her face away. Because of nervousness, her hands were clenched into fists. He kissed her wound. Baya looked at him. Gu Lingqing smiled softly and stroked her cheek with his hand. Although I've forgotten how I made you fall in love with me in the past, I may be too domineering and tyrannical, but I will seriously consider what you say. I will also try my best to achieve what you want. You can quarrel with me, but you can. You can quarrel with me, but we're already married, and divorce is impossible. Do you know that? Baya's eyes were full of tears, sparkling under the light, with a shimmering luster. He had said similar words to her before he lost his memory. This Gu Lingqing overlapped with the man she loved in the past. Thank you for tolerating my willfulness and stubbornness, Baya said, choking. Gu Lingqing kissed her lips. I'm the one thanking you, and I'm also thanking fate for giving me a chance. He was talking about the fact that they were married. But she didn't really thank fate. The past was too hurtful, so as long as there was a little hope of happiness, she would want to grasp it. Women were really contradictory creatures. In the end, sensibility won over rationality. Gu Lingqing's kiss gradually moved downwards, past her collarbone, wound, abdomen, and then downwards. Baya hadn't had sex with him for a long time, so she was especially sensitive. As soon as he touched her, she reacted. Almost subconsciously, she pushed his shoulder. He held her hand and kissed her deeply. The room was filled with charming sounds, delicate and especially pleasant to the ears. He waited for her to first, before he took her. Afraid that he would press on her wound that had just formed a scar, she let him sit on his abdomen, using the strength of his arm. He had wanted to do it inside. He wanted to have a child with her that belonged to them. Alarmed, Baiya pushed him away. Gu Lingqing was still disappointed. What's wrong? I'm not in the safe period, Baiya explained. When she met his cold eyes, she added, I've taken medicine. It's not suitable for pregnancy. It will make the baby deformed. Gu Lingqing suddenly understood. He wanted a child with her so much that he didn't think. He kissed her on the lips and put her down next to him. He put one hand on her waist and the other on his head as he looked at her. Baiya felt uncomfortable under his gaze. Thinking of what happened just now, was it too, that, hard to describe? Do you want to go back to the military early tomorrow? Baiya changed the topic. No, I have a meeting in the afternoon. I can go back after lunch. Oh, then I'll sleep first. I'm a little sleepy. Baiya turned her back to him and closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything and pulled her into his arms to sleep. His phone rang. Seeing that it was Song Shiyu calling, Gu Lingqing hung up immediately. He didn't want to pick up. Lieutenant Colonel Song called again. Gu Lingqing still didn't want to pick up. He could guess what it was. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing. Just as Gu Lingqing was about to mute his phone, the orderly called. Pick it up, it's okay, Baiya said gently. Gu Lingqing picked up the call. Chief, bad news. Zhou Hailan committed suicide, the orderly reported. Has she been sent to the hospital? She has, but she's very unstable. She wants to see you. It's useless to see me. Gu Lingqing frowned. When Baiya heard Gu Lingqing's refusal, a kind of emotion flowed freely in her heart. He listened to what she said before. He just needed to do it. She didn't want to turn him into an unjust person. Lingqing, go. It's okay, Baiya said gently. Gu Lingqing looked at her in confusion. Baiya smiled. I trust you. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand. Because she trusted him, he was even more certain of his decision. He loved her and didn't want her to get hurt again. Chapter 223. Baiya followed Gu Lingqing out. When she checked out of the room, she saw the strange look on the waiter's face. Baiya blushed and went out of the room first. Napkins were thrown everywhere in the room. She hadn't tidied them up yet. She felt like someone found out that she had done something bad. They were husband and wife. It was normal, wasn't it? Gu Lingqing checked out of the room and said, We are husband and wife. The waiter was speechless. He came out and opened the door of the passenger seat. Baiya sat in the car. Gu Lingqing walked past the front of the car and got into the driver's seat. Baiya had already put on the seatbelt. Gu Lingqing drove the car. Can you tell me more about Zhou Hailan? I want to know how to treat her. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing and said. Hailan was an orphan. She joined the army a long time ago. She was very hardworking and performed very well. We completed a few missions together and all of them were successful. Then, there was one time when we were rescuing a politician. There was a spy among us and all 8 of us died. I, Zhou Hailan, and that politician were trapped in a sea of fire. She helped me and the politician to leave first. After I rescued the politician, the sea of fire was already in ruins. I found a burnt body inside. The finger of the body was wearing the ring that I gave her. It turned out that she didn't die. She was captured by the enemy and treated inhumanely for 5 years. When she was rescued, her mind was already broken. All these years, she has been locked in the laboratory for treatment, Gu Lingqing said simply. Bai Ye had heard such a story before. That was not what she wanted. She has been locked up for treatment for 3 years. Why did she only come to you now? Bai Ye was confused. She had just recovered. There was a fire in the laboratory and she escaped in the chaos, Gu Lingqing explained. Bai Ye was silent. She knew the other person who went on the mission with them. It was Xia He. He was the spy that Gu Lingqing thought he was. Back then, Gu Lingqing had firmly believed that Xia He was a spy because only he and Xia He had survived that mission. She had never thought that Xia He was the spy. Now, there was a third person alive. Could the spy be the third person? She kept her suspicion to herself. Firstly, people would think that she was jealous of Zhou Hailan. Secondly, she had no evidence, so no one would believe her. Gu Lingqing made a phone call to confirm that Zhou Hailan had been sent to the military hospital. He brought Bai Ye there. In the ward, Zhou Hailan had already fallen asleep. His wrist was bandaged and his hand was dripped with medicine. Song Shiyu and the 2 caretakers took care of her. When Song Shiyu saw Gu Lingqing and Bai Ye together, her face darkened. She questioned Gu Lingqing, Hailan committed suicide because of you. Aren't you afraid that Bai Ye will break down again? Bai Ye and I are husband and wife. Bai Ye is a psychologist and can help treat Hailan, Gu Lingqing explained. Do you think that Hailan will be willing to see Bai Ye? I don't believe that she will treat Hailan well. You can do it alone, Song Shiyu said resolutely. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened. Mom, do you want me to do nothing and take care of Zhou Hailan for the rest of her life? Song Shiyu paused. She turned to look at Bai Ye and pressured her. Hailan's emotions are unstable now. Madam Bai, please leave. The term Madam Bai meant that she did not acknowledge Bai Ye as her daughter-in-law. Bai Ye did not want to go up to her and call her mother either. Madam, why do you think her emotions are unstable? Bai Ye asked calmly. You already know the answer. She only has Lingqing in her heart. You're here with Lingqing to hurt her. Are you only happy when she dies? Song Shiyu said unhappily. So, madam, are you saying that you want Gu Lingqing and Zhou Hailan to be together and I'll back out? Bai Ye guessed. Song Shiyu frowned and did not say a word. Bai Ye's lips twitched in mockery. Children cry because they want sweets. The adults will give them sweets. Then, every time a child wants sweets, he just has to cry. But as time goes by, the child's teeth will rot because of the sweets. The gatekeepers should know what they should do and what they shouldn't. Crying and committing suicide won't solve any problems. On the contrary, it will only make the problem worse and worse until it gets out of hand, Bai Ye said coldly. Are you sure that's what a person would say? You're accusing Lingqing of being heartless and unjust. Do you want Lingqing to watch Hailan die and feel guilty for the rest of her life? Bai Ye, if you love Lingqing, you should let go. Don't put her in a difficult position, Song Shiyu said angrily. She's not the one who's putting me in a difficult position now. It's all of you, Gu Lingqing interrupted and held Bai Ye's hand tightly. Song Shiyu looked at Gu Lingqing in shock. If I didn't save her this time, she would have died. Have you forgotten what she has done? What did I teach you? You can't be ungrateful. I'm sorry. I can't see Zhou Hailan in my eyes. Compared to being ungrateful, I don't want to let Bai Ye down, Gu Lingqing said coldly. Her face was expressionless and she sounded distant and mean. Bai Ye's heart was pounding hard. Her eyes were filled with tears. She held Gu Lingqing's hand tightly too. We're helping Zhou Hailan in the right way. That's just the right way you think. In my eyes, letting Lingqing go back to Zhou Hailan and take care of Zhou Hailan is the right way. Then I'm sorry. Gu Lingqing and I are already married. It's impossible for us to get a divorce. You should know better than me that a military marriage can't be divorced, Baya said firmly. It's not that you can't get a divorce. If you agree to it, there's a way. I won't get a divorce, Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. Song Shiyu blocked the door of the ward. Hailan is already very pitiful. You didn't see how crazy she was when she couldn't find you. Now that she has finally calmed down, you can be heartless to her but don't hurt her. We're not hurting her, we're treating her, Baya said on behalf of Gu Lingqing. Over-treating her is hurting her. Go back now. We'll talk when she wakes up, Song Shiyu said coldly. Gu Lingqing looked down at Baya. Baya nodded. Let's go back first. Song Shiyu clenched her fists tightly and stared at Baya's back. Gu Lingqing nodded and left with her. They returned to the car. You don't have to worry about my mother's attitude. My relationship with them has been very strained for the past 3 years, Gu Lingqing comforted Baya. It's okay, I know what she's thinking because I've seen her dark side. So, not only does she hate me, she's also afraid of me. She doesn't understand why she could force me so easily 3 years ago, but now she can't. Your mother isn't a bad person, she just loves you and your future too much. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Chapter 224. He was willing to bring her here and defend her in front of his mother. She was already touched. She engraved the words he said in her heart. One was, the one who makes things difficult for me now is not her, but you guys. Another was, I can't see Zhou Hailan in my eyes. Compared to being ungrateful, I don't want to let Baya down even more. And another was, I won't leave. She remembered that a long time ago, she asked Gu Lingqing if he loved her. Gu Lingqing's answer was, I don't want to say it, I just want to do it. He really did it now, and it was not an empty promise. I misunderstood you before, I'm sorry, Baya apologized. What did you misunderstand me about? Gu Lingqing asked. I saw you carrying Zhou Hailan into the hotel, and I stayed across from you. I saw you ordering supper for her, and you left very, very late. I was not in a good mood. Baya lowered her head. Her heart still hurt when she thought about it. I carried her into the hotel because she fainted, and I ordered supper for her because she hadn't eaten for a few days, and she left very late. She was very scared and broke down at that time, and I didn't know what to do. So, I'm also at fault. I'm the one who should say sorry. Baya lowered her eyes and thought about it from another's perspective. If he was a man who had saved her, and was injured because of her, when that man was at his most pessimistic and desperate, she might have stayed to accompany him out of shock and sympathy. But she still felt uncomfortable. Forget it. He only had her in his heart, and no other women were good enough. He had already given in, and she didn't dare to be aggressive and force him into a corner. Since we are both at fault for what happened in the past, let's forget it. Today is the beginning of our new life. Baya put her other hand on the back of his hand. When a husband and wife are united, their sharpness can cut through gold. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of his mouth. He was really thankful to the heavens that they got married under such a coincidence. Only then could the conflict between him and Baya be eased. There was a fine line between heaven and hell. He would cherish the present. Go back and have a rest now. Do you want to go to the military area or the blue sky villa? Gu Lingqing asked. Let's stay in a hotel nearby. It's a bit far to go back. Besides, I think Zhou Hailan will want to see you after she wakes up. It'll be convenient for us to see her, Baya analyzed. Gu Lingqing was silent. After thinking for a while, he replied seriously, I don't think she needs me right now. She needs a doctor. You're right. If I show up, it will only make her feel that crying is useful. If I don't show up this time, she might understand that suicide is useless. Have you thought it through? Baya asked. I'll give her the best environment for treatment, and I won't restrict her freedom. If necessary, I'll cooperate with the psychologist. Didn't you say that there's a very outstanding senior last time? I want to hire him, Gu Lingqing said after careful consideration. Don't make a decision yet. Many factors will influence your thoughts now. Morning is the time when you're the most rational and emotional. You can tell me after you think it over. Baya softened his tone. Okay. Gu Lingqing drove away. He listened to Baya and checked into a hotel nearby. Baya's estimation was right. They had only slept for 5 hours. At 5:00 in the morning, as soon as Zhou Hailan woke up, he called. Ah Qing, where are you? I'm so scared. I want to see you so much. I lost too much blood yesterday and fainted. Auntie said that you came to see me. Did you come? Why are you leaving now that you're here? Zhou Hailan sobbed. Gu Lingqing frowned and kept silent. Baya took Gu Lingqing's phone and said gently, Zhou Hailan, it's still early. Sleep a little longer. I'll come to the hospital with Gu Lingqing to see you in the morning. Who are you? I don't want you to see me. I want Ah Qing. Zhou Hailan's voice became sharp. I'm Gu Lingqing's wife. Don't worry. Lingqing and I will take care of you. Who needs you to take care of me? Gu Lingqing is mine. I'm Gu Lingqing's fiancé. Who do you think you are? First come, first served. I've already agreed to Ah Qing's proposal before the accident. Let him answer the phone. Let him answer the phone. Zhou Hailan shouted. He's resting. I'm sorry. Baya hung up the phone. I think I owe her a breakup, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Baya saw the hesitation and sadness in his eyes. It's not nice to break up now. Let's take care of her together. I'll go out and buy breakfast and send it to her. Baya got up from the bed. Gu Lingqing hugged Baya from behind. Thank you for your understanding and tolerance. Baya held Gu Lingqing's hand. You're repaying your debt, not making a mistake. You're not being considerate and forgiving. You're doing what you should do, as long as I'm in your heart. Baya paused for a moment before continuing. If one day, you discover that Zhou Hailan is in your heart, I hope that you can completely let me go. If I didn't have you in my heart, I wouldn't have shamelessly asked the Civil Affairs Bureau to add us to the list. I understand my feelings very well, and it won't change for the rest of my life. Gu Lingqing said affirmatively. Baya's eyes reddened. Countless scenes flashed through her mind. After so many twists and turns, she and Gu Lingqing had been separated for 3 years and then another 3 years. Now, they could finally be together. She had a feeling that she had finally achieved the right result after going through so many hardships. Life, perhaps, was like this. It was filled with surprise, helplessness, sadness, heartache, melancholy, tears, joy, smiles, and longing. A warm liquid flowed down her cheeks. Gu Lingqing wiped her tears. Silly girl, why are you crying? When I'm sad, I cry. When I'm angry and wronged, I want to separate. I want to live alone. I feel that it's better to live a carefree life alone. But when I calm down, I start to miss it. Freedom and loneliness sometimes complement each other. I think I should. I think I should never give up on you, Baya confessed. I know. I've been to America to see you a few times. You'd be in a daze for a long time when you saw people in military uniforms. At that time, I would also think self-righteously, are you thinking of me? Gu Lingqing said gently. Bai Ye's tears flowed even more fiercely. She was indeed thinking of him, but she covered her heart with coldness and replaced her passion with alienation. "We'll be fine in the future," Bai Ye said, choking with sobs. Gu Lingqing kissed her forehead. "We'll be fine in the future." Bai Ye lowered her eyes and secretly made up her mind. Both she and Gu Lingqing liked children very much. With children, it would be a complete family. Gu Lingqing was 33 this year, and she was 28. It was the age to have children. Chapter 225. Bai Ye and Gu Lingqing went to have breakfast together. Bai Ye bought 2 steamed buns and a bowl of soybean milk. After thinking for a while, she added a bowl of steamed buns and a bowl of steamed buns. "Why did you buy so much?" Gu Lingqing asked confusedly. "Your mother might still be here. We bought it for Zhou Hailan." "It's not good if we don't buy it for your mother," Bai Ye said softly. Gu Lingqing looked at her with gentle eyes. "Actually, you're gentle, considerate, and generous. My mother is prejudiced against you. Otherwise, you two would definitely get along well." Gu Lingqing sighed. "It's God's will. It doesn't matter. I'll do what I should. It's her business whether she accepts it or not. Let's go. Otherwise, the breakfast won't taste good when it's cold." Bai Ye walked out of the door first. Gu Lingqing drove. On the way, her nerves were tense. Unconsciously, she followed Gu Lingqing to the door of the ward. Gu Lingqing knocked on the door and pushed it open. Zhou Hailan was squatting on the bed with her body curled up. When she saw Gu Lingqing, she quickly got off the bed. Without wearing her shoes, she ran to Gu Lingqing and said pitifully with a crying voice, "Qing, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time." Bai Ye took a deep breath and walked in, standing next to Gu Lingqing. When Zhou Hailan saw Bai Ye, she widened her eyes and said angrily, "Why are you here? You're not welcome here." She pushed Bai Ye with great force. Bai Ye fell backward. Gu Lingqing was quick to react. She held Bai Ye's waist and protected her behind her, standing in front of Zhou Hailan. "I brought Bai Ye here. If she leaves, I'll leave too." Zhou Hailan was injured. He looked at Gu Lingqing in disbelief. There was a lot of accusation in his eyes. He pursed his lips tightly. Hearing that, Song Shiyu grabbed Zhou Hailan's arm and scolded Gu Lingqing, "Are you a human being? If you bring her, you don't have to come. Let's go." Gu Lingqing fixed his eyes on Song Shiyu and made a decision in 3 seconds. He held Bai Ye's hand and turned around. "Don't go," Zhou Hailan pleaded. Gu Lingqing stopped and looked at Zhou Hailan. "If you leave, I will die," Zhou Hailan said pitifully. Gu Lingqing remained silent. "If you die, you will have nothing. The person you love will not have either. Are you sure you want to die?" Bai Ye asked. As soon as he said that, Song Shiyu glared at Bai Ye. "Shut up. You have no right to speak here." Gu Lingqing's eyes were filled with annoyance. He pulled Bai Ye and left. Zhou Hailan dashed over and hugged Gu Lingqing's waist. "It's okay. It's okay even if you bring someone here. I know that I'm ugly now and I'm not good enough for you. But I beg you, don't go." Gu Lingqing looked ahead with his pitch-black eyes. "Bai Ye and I are husband and wife. I know that you're already married." Zhou Hailan's face was buried in Gu Lingqing's back. He cried. "Treat me like a sister and treat my illness. Maybe when I recover and become a normal person, I can find my own happiness." Gu Lingqing glanced at Zhou Hailan. Zhou Hailan stood behind him. He couldn't see her expression. Zhou Hailan continued, "But for now, don't leave me. Don't abandon me. I will accept treatment. I don't ask for much. You just have to visit me once a day. No, 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 3 times a week is enough. Hailon, why do you have to be so aggrieved? Song Shiyu said in a low voice. Zhou Hailon let go of Gu Lingqing and looked at the bandage on his wrist. Gu Lingqing is already married. I disappeared for 8 years and now I'm like this. I can't even take care of myself. It's normal that Gu Lingqing doesn't want me. If you want to hate, then hate your fate. Miss Bai, don't you want to give them some time to get along? Hailon is already willing to be a sister. Song Shiyu hated Baiya even more now. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing. I'll wait for you outside. She placed the breakfast on the dining table and turned to leave. Gu Lingqing frowned as he watched Baiya leave. There was a sense of pity and guilt in his eyes. Baiya said that she couldn't tolerate a grain of sand in her eyes. Gu Lingqing took a step towards Baiya. Song Shiyu stood in front of Gu Lingqing and said earnestly, now, Hailon is willing to be a sister. Do you really have to be so heartless? You gave all the love between a man and a woman to Baiya, so you should at least give some pity to Zhou Hailon. She really didn't do anything wrong. She really didn't do anything wrong. It's okay, Auntie. Let him go. Zhou Hailon said gently. Gu Lingqing glanced at Zhou Hailon and walked towards the door. Zhou Hailon closed his eyes and staggered a couple of steps. Hailon. Song Shiyu cried out in alarm. Gu Lingqing turned around unconsciously. Zhou Hailon had fainted in his arms. Gu Lingqing frowned and said to Song Shiyu, call the doctor. Song Shiyu walked out of the door. She didn't go to the doctor. Instead, she called Baiya. Where are you? Baiya felt that Song Shiyu couldn't have asked for anything good. Does where I am have anything to do with you? Baiya, why do you have to be a bad person? I want Zhou Hailon to be my daughter-in-law. Lingqing's father also wants Zhou Hailon to be his daughter-in-law. As long as you're not around, Lingqing will definitely fall in love with Zhou Hailon again. Why do you have to get involved and make it impossible for the two lovers to be together? Song Shiyu asked coldly. Madam, do you know what love is? Baiya asked. Song Shiyu paused. I've eaten more salt than you've crossed bridges. I don't need you to teach me what love is. In your eyes, love is what other people think is suitable or not. To put it bluntly, you're looking for a woman who is suitable for Gu Lingqing's future. If one day, Gu Lingqing finally becomes the most successful man, but he finds out that he doesn't love his wife. Because of his status, he can't leave his wife. He has no love in his life. When he dies, he will leave with regrets. Are you sure you want to give your son these things? Are you sure? There are some things I think I should remind you. If you use a woman's power to get to the top, you will be afraid of the woman's power and lose your freedom. If you rely on your own ability to get to the top, you won't have any weaknesses or uncertainties in other people's hands. I know you love your son. It's because of this love that I don't want to be rude to you. But I think your values have deviated. Happiness is not only about status, but also about warmth. Baiya said confidently, neither humble nor pushy. Song Shiyu was a little absent-minded. She thought of Gu Tianhang. Her mood changed subtly. Baiya's words touched the softest spot in her heart. Gu Tianhang married her not because he loved her, but because she was suitable. Chapter 226. Did she really want her son to follow in his father's footsteps? Was a marriage without love a happy ending? Did she feel happy right now? No, what she felt now was coldness. It was the despair of marriage and life. Song Shiyu suddenly couldn't figure it out. She hung up the phone and went to call the doctor. She followed the doctor to the ward. The doctor opened Zhou Heilan's eyes and she woke up. She held Gu Lingqing's hand and begged weakly, "Don't go." The doctor looked at Gu Lingqing. The patient's physique is very poor. Because of the massive blood loss, her blood sugar is very low. In addition, she already has mental problems. Don't agitate her. Gu Lingqing looked at Zhou Heilan. Zhou Heilan smiled. I'm sorry to make you worry. I'm a little hungry now. What breakfast did you and your wife bring? I want to eat it now. Is that okay? Gu Lingqing untied the plastic bag and opened one of the boxes of soup dumplings. Then, he handed the chopsticks to Zhou Heilan. Why did you buy so many? Do you think I'm a pig? Zhou Heilan said with a bitter smile. Xiaoye also bought my mother's. Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. Then, he moved Zhou Heilan's bed so that she could sit. Sister Xiaoye is really considerate, Zhou Heilan said softly. She's younger than you, but she's more mature. He put a box of soup dumplings on the dining table on the bed. Song Shiyu frowned and looked down. Gu Lingqing took a pair of chopsticks and gave them to Song Shiyu. You eat some too. You've been busy since yesterday. You must be hungry. Song Shiyu took a chair and sat down in front of the bedside table to eat. Zhou Heilan was eating the soup dumplings obediently. From time to time, she would look at Gu Lingqing helplessly. Then, she would lower her head and eat the soup dumplings carefully, as if she was afraid of making Gu Lingqing unhappy. Gu Lingqing picked up her phone and glanced at the time. She turned around and walked towards the door. Zhou Heilan paused with his chopsticks. A sinister gleam flashed across his eyes. It seemed that the situation had already gone out of her control and had become out of hand. Where are you? Gu Lingqing called Baiye the moment he left the house. I'm strolling in the garden behind the hospital. Baiye smiled. I'm coming to find you now. After saying that, Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and walked to the elevator quickly. Baiye sat alone on a chair in the garden, thinking about psychological problems. Most people with psychological problems don't know that they have psychological problems. Even if they know that they have psychological problems, they can't control themselves when they act up. Just like her, she only knew that her illness was acting up after her illness acted up. But Zhou Heilan was different. She knew what she was doing and the purpose of every step she took. She was more organized. She even knew when to compromise and when to say what to say. She could control her emotions very well. This was not normal. She changed too quickly. In the right environment and the right situation, she could make reasonable adaptations. These were more like ordinary people. They were very smart ordinary people. She closed her eyes and thought that she was Zhou Heilan. Zhou Heilan's node was Gu Lingqing. She loved Gu Lingqing deeply. She couldn't leave Gu Lingqing. There was only Gu Lingqing. She relied on him. She felt very inferior and was afraid of being abandoned. Then, she would put all her vigilance on the women around Gu Lingqing. As long as a woman appeared, she would collapse hysterically. She would do abnormal behaviors that were different from ordinary people. Most of their expressions were crazy and irrational. They were easily stimulated. Their emotions were more intense, and their behaviors were not controllable. But after she appeared, Zhou Heilan didn't. She committed suicide in the middle of the night because Gu Lingqing wouldn't go. This was something that a mentally ill person could do. However, when she saw that Gu Lingqing said that he was married and wanted to follow her, she began to say that she was willing to be his sister and was willing to cooperate with the treatment. She began to play the pity card. This was not in line with the special characteristics of a mental patient. She suspected that Zhou Heilan was pretending to be mentally ill, just like she suspected that Zhou Hailan was the mole. However, Gu Lingqing also said that they had cooperated on several missions and they were all successful. This was obviously a clear agreement for Zhou Hailan. What went wrong? A dark shadow shrouded her in front of her. Bai Ye looked up and saw Gu Lingqing. What are you thinking about? You're all meditating, Gu Lingqing asked and sat down next to Bai Ye. I'm just thinking about it. I have nothing to do anyway. How is Zhou Hailan? Bai Ye glanced at Gu Lingqing and asked. She's fine. She fainted just now, but she woke up again. She was having breakfast when I left. I think her emotions are much more stable now. Gu Lingqing was obviously relieved. Bai Ye smiled. What does the witness that you rescued do? To put it simply, he's like a messenger from Country S. He came to Country A with important resources. If something happens to him in Country A, Country S will misunderstand Country A and they won't have the resources. Therefore, the terrorist organization captured him to cause conflict between Country S and Country A and restrict the development of Country A, Gu Lingqing explained. Then why didn't the terrorist organization kill the politician and give you time to rescue him? Bai Ye asked. I guess they want the resources from Country S. That's why they didn't kill the politician for the time being. To be more specific, since our mission is to rescue the politician, we didn't ask about anything else. By the way, speaking of this, I want to visit General Kai Qingyun soon. Kai Qingyun. Who is he? Bai Ye didn't know these people. He used to be my chief. Because I lost part of my memory, I don't remember part of the mission. I should have been drugged by the enemy during the mission, so I had sex with you. I think there should be someone who knows. Maybe they can find out about our child. Moreover, General Kai Qingyun's hometown, Jinyuan, is not far from Jinyang City. It's about a 2-hour drive. Jinyuan City. Bai Ye's heart skipped a beat. That was where Gu Lingqing met with an accident. A thought flashed across Bai Ye's mind. Is your chief also Zhou Hailan's chief? Yes. Back then, Zhou Hailan, Su Haoran, and I were from the same military region, Gu Lingqing explained. Can you bring me along when you visit General Kai Qingyun in Jinyuan City? Bai Ye asked. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Do you want to go? Bai Ye nodded. I want to go. If I go to LV Xingzhou's house as a tutor, I said that I don't have to go on Saturday and Sunday. Okay. I'll look for you when I go. Let's go together. Gu Lingqing smiled and hugged Bai Ye. Bai Ye leaned on him and looked at the blue sky. If only they could find their child. Perhaps Gu Lingqing's parents wouldn't object to it. Chapter 227. At 9:00, Bai Ye persuaded Gu Lingqing to go back to the military. She went to the appointed place. It was still early. She took out a pen and started to design a psychological test. Her phone rang. It was a call from an unknown number. Judging from the area code, it should be from America. She answered it suspiciously and asked in English, "Hello, who is this? Are you the psychologist, Bai Ye, Ms. Bai? I'm N.I.'s assistant. She has some problems and wants to consult you. We'll charge you according to the time of the conversation," the assistant said. Bai Ye knew an actress called N.I. She was a controversial actress. She was beautiful and had a good family background, but her acting skills were lacking. Sure. Give her the phone, Bai Ye said gently. Hello, doctor. I'm N.I. I feel like I'm about to collapse. I need your help, N.I. said dispiritedly. I'm glad to help you. What kind of problem is bothering you? Bai Ye asked politely. My new movie has been on the air for a week. The ratings are okay, but many people are scolding me under the video. Some say that they want to quit the movie because of me, some say that my acting skills are bad, and some say that I'm a mistress who stole Britney's husband. Britney's husband and I are just talking because we're filming. We don't have a real relationship. They're slandering me maliciously and talking nonsense. Now the movie is the most popular one. My acting skills have been recognized by many professionals, but they're scolding me on Weibo and WeChat, saying that my acting is superfluous and asking me to leave the entertainment industry. Some even throw eggs at my door. I'm in so much pain that I don't know what to do, and I complained. I remember that there was a time when you registered a secondary account to attack these haters. It was exposed and pushed you to the top of the wave, Baya said in a good tone. That's because I played a drug addict. They attacked me, saying that I was a prostitute and had sex with the director and producer. I was furious, but I couldn't attack him directly, so I registered a smurf account to vent my anger. I feel like I'm going to collapse. I don't know how much longer I can hold on. These days, I've been suffering from insomnia and hair loss. My mental state is very bad. I'm afraid of going out and filming TV. I've even thought of committing suicide. My friend introduced me to you and said that you can help me. Nir said while sobbing. Before I help you, let's talk about the history of the entertainment industry. A long time ago, before television, many scripts were known to people through stage performances. For example, the most famous one was Broadway. Actors earned money through tickets and tips. There were very few people who could afford tickets, and only the rich could afford them. Many actors, in order to live a wealthy life, would try their best to get the favor of the nobles and the rich. To put it bluntly, it was said that they were relying on rich people. Those tycoons might be married men, or they might be playboys. What they needed to bear were their own emotional twists and turns. They rarely faced the pressure of public opinion because not many people knew about these dirty things. Gradually, with the advent of television and newspapers, actors became well known to most people. Their every move would be watched. If they did something wrong, such as breaking up a family or taking drugs, they would be attacked by the public and even condemned by the public. Later, with mobile phones, the internet, and Weibo, the exposure rate of stars was very high. The money they earned was also hundreds or thousands of times more than before. Similarly, their every move, even smoking a cigarette on the road, was magnified without limit. They became people who abandoned themselves to depravity. For these people who received attention, opening a smurf account was equivalent to being shady, picking one's nose was equivalent to having a bad character, and being in love was equivalent to committing a crime. Do you agree with what I said? Baya said softly. That's right. What you said is not wrong at all. Last time I scolded an anti-fan. This anti-fan attacked me innocently, saying that I was shameless and a psychopath. I asked him to keep his mouth clean. This message was cut out of the major networks, and I became the target of attack. They thought that I was wrong, not the anti-fan. I was so angry that I couldn't sleep the whole night. Nir said while crying. Where are the people who attacked you? How old are they? Are they also aggressive people in real life? Are they mentally ill? You don't even know these. Is it worth it to be angry just because someone said that you don't know anything? I'm just angry that they spouted nonsense without knowing anything. They attacked me randomly and twisted the truth. I'm worried that it will affect my fans. What if no one likes me anymore? What if they abandon the show because of me? What if the investors don't want to look for me? I'll feel guilty too. Will it ruin a good show? Nir said sadly. First of all, your worries are unnecessary. There is a difference between those who are close to them and those who are distant from them. For example, as I said above, actors who have less exposure will bear less pressure from public opinion. Actors who have more exposure will bear more pressure from public opinion. Working in the same company, if the boss gives the same resource to employee A will think that the boss is good. Employee B who doesn't get the resource will think that the boss is bad. Your situation is the same. You have tens of millions of fans. Everyone has different upbringing, personality, and environment. Some people are too depressed in their daily lives. They are short-tempered, dark, and paranoid. They can't vent their anger in real life. Anyway, the internet doesn't use their real names. If they see something bad about you, they will scold you 1,000 times more. You can see what kind of people they are from their irresponsible colleagues. Why do you have to feel sorry for these people who have no morals and are venting their frustrations? They are already unhappy. If you have tens of millions of fans, it's normal to have tens of thousands of haters. Most people can see the essence from the phenomenon. It can be reflected from the ratings. Baya comforted her. I'm more worried that the fans will think that what the haters said is true. Nir said worriedly. Your worries are unfounded. Let me put it this way. Those who are being slandered, attacked, and plotted against by despicable people will find my words very useful. Those with good self-restraint will find it not bad either. Perhaps it will be useful in the future. However, there will also be some people who will. There will be some people who will curse in a sharp and crazy tone. You can't change the way others curse. This depends on the person's upbringing. You can't change anything by worrying. Chapter 228. Are you talking about Brittany? Nir was suddenly enlightened. I don't know. Maybe some of them are your opponents, but some of them are your anti-fans. First of all, you haven't offended these anti-fans, have you? Baya asked. My life is so far away from theirs. I'm busy filming every day. I don't even have time for myself. How could I offend them? I don't know why they hate me so much. Nir frowned. Maybe you're too popular and aroused their jealousy. Maybe you're dating their Prince Charming, so they naturally hate you. Or maybe you stole the role of their goddess. Some of them just don't have enough self-cultivation. Let's imagine life as a TV series. Do you think the heroine will casually attack others, trample on others, slander others, insult others, and expose her sharp bad temper because of trivial things? Baya asked softly. Of course not. That kind of person is a cannon fodder. At most, she's the third or fourth female lead. So, as the protagonist, why do you care about a cannon fodder? You don't need to clean up this kind of cannon fodder. Life will make her suffer enough. Why do you need to spend time on unnecessary people's words? Nir was suddenly enlightened. So, I'll just treat them as farts, right? Farts will stink. You can't change the environment you're in. Then you should improve your self-cultivation, patience, recognize the reality, and analyze rationally. After all, the fate of farts will vanish. Some people won't be happy if they don't spit it out. However, this kind of person will eventually be hated and hated by everyone in real life. Even the closest people around them can't stand it. They will be punished by fate. Why do you hate them? Their life will not necessarily be better than yours. Letting others go is also letting yourself go. Open-minded people will be happy, and they will bring happiness to the people around them. You can only be happy if you're liked by the people around you. Right, Nir? Baya shouted intimately. Nir's mood calmed down. She was seriously thinking about Baya's words. You must have a good life in your life, right? Baya smiled and said frankly, when dealing with other people's affairs, one's mood will be calmer, and one's rationality will be clear. One will know what is good and right. When people were dealing with their own affairs, their emotions would be more agitated. When the blood rushed to the brain, it would prevent rational thinking, and they would also make mistakes and make wrong judgments. That was because most people didn't judge whether something was true or false based on what it was. Instead, they judged it based on what they wanted. For example, there's a reality show in which so-and-so and so-and-so are paired up as a couple. People who want this to be true will look for all sorts of small details and reports. Maybe they look at each other to prove that they're really in love. Those who did not want this to be true would find all kinds of reports and small details to prove that they were not in love. When dealing with their own affairs, because of their strong subjective consciousness and lack of rationality, they would often make incorrect judgments and decisions. Me too. So, sometimes, I also need to see a psychiatrist to get some advice. It's not a shameful thing, but I hope that I won't do anything wrong, right? It's really pleasant to chat with you. Moreover, you're very good at solving problems. I feel that I've been brainwashed by you. My friend really didn't introduce the wrong person. Thank you. Later, I'll transfer the money to you according to your fee of 10,000 yuan per hour. There's also a little tip. Thank you, Dr. Bai. Dr. Bai, said sincerely. The fee of 10,000 yuan per hour was just for LV Xingzhou. Your friend is? Bai asked suspiciously. Qing Jinrong. He said that he had seen a doctor here. He just talked with you for a while, and he was cured by you. I'm in a good mood now. I'm going to work hard. That's all for now. I'm hanging up. Finally, thank you again, Dr. Bai. Nier said and hung up the phone. In front of Bai, there was a black shadow. She looked up. Qing Jinrong smiled slightly and said politely, I didn't expect you to come so early. It's only 10:00 now. Can you sit down? Bai glanced at the seat opposite her. Qing Jinrong sat down opposite her and pressed the server button. I want to ask, are you deliberately giving my friend the cold shoulder because of psychological strategy? First, if his son's problem was solved by someone, it would have been solved by now. Second, according to his current treatment method, his son's condition will only worsen, and he will still feel annoyed. Third, this son is his only son. He values him more than his life. So, no matter how expensive I am, he will come to me one day. I'm not using psychological strategy. I'm just sure. Fourth, lowering the price will destroy the expert's aura. If you're too polite to him, it's all for money. He will look down on you. The more impolite you are to him, the more trustworthy he will feel. Bai analyzed. What if you can't cure him after 3 months? Qing Jinrong was a little worried for Bai. Don't you have confidence in me? Bai said confidently. Qing Jinrong's phone rang. He saw that it was a call from the United States and answered. Qing Jinrong, your friend is amazing. After listening to her words, I suddenly saw the light. My mood is very good, and my appetite is very good. I'm not angry when I met the person who sprayed paint on my car just now, Nier praised. If you have friends with psychological problems, remember to introduce them to her. We're all friends, and we should help each other, Qing Jinrong said righteously. Bai took a sip of coffee. She had a good impression on Qing Jinrong. She was generous, loyal, responsible, and enterprising. She used to have some obsessive-compulsive disorder, but now it seemed that she had recovered. The speed of treatment depended on the patient's ability to understand. When are you leaving? Bai asked. This time, I mainly came to bring Governor Liu here. After you've finished your discussion, I should be able to leave, right? The waiter came up. A cup of mocha, thank you, Qing Jinrong said politely. Do you have a project in the hands of Governor Liu? Bai guessed. How do you know? Qing Jinrong was very surprised. Your attitude towards Lu Xingzhou is a little more flattering and cautious, and you always follow Lu Xingzhou's wishes. Previously, you said that you have your own company. If he is not a subordinate, then he must have a project in his hands, Baiye analyzed. You're too smart. Now, there is a very good piece of land in Jinyuan City for sale, but Xinjiang Construction Company is competing with me. If Governor Liu can help me, the possibility of me getting it is very high. Baiye frowned and asked suspiciously, what's so good about that piece of land? Qing Jinrong hesitated. Baiye could see his concerns. You don't have to say it if you don't want to. Chapter 229. Baiye chuckled. It's dangerous just because I know. How is that possible? Are you a spy? Qing Jinrong didn't say anything. He just smiled politely with a hint of aloofness and vigilance. Baiye knew that he wouldn't say anything, so she didn't ask anymore. She lowered her head and took a sip of coffee. The atmosphere suddenly turned cold. It was very strange. Qing Jinrong cleared his throat. Do you know anything about history? When I was studying psychology overseas, there was a class that specifically talked about the history of both domestic and foreign countries. The main point was to judge a person's character from history and the direction of fate. Why? Do you like to study history? Baiye asked casually. My ex-girlfriend's father likes it. He's an expert in this field. His main contribution is to study the geography of ancient times. Using the Song dynasty as an example, he can restore the map of the Song dynasty, where the battles took place, and where the important events took place, Qing Jinrong explained simply. A map from Tangqian village flashed across Baiye's mind. Maybe his ex-girlfriend's father was an expert in this field. Wait, Qing Jinrong and LV Xingzhou knew each other. LV Xingzhou should have that map, and LV Xingzhou might know Qing Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's father. Then, could the land that Qing Jinrong wanted to buy be the place where the treasure was hidden on the map? This thought made Baiye a little excited. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing her guess immediately. Her hand holding the coffee cup was trembling. She tried her best to calm herself down and said respectfully, there are specializations in every field. It's very normal for there to be people who are especially skilled in every field. I remember there's a platform that specializes in antique appraisals. Many people will take their antiques to appraise to see if they're real or fake, and how much they're worth in the market. I saw that the experts were very sure that they could see through it with one look. They're really good. Silly girl, this is for the effect of the show. Those things have already been studied by the experts for a few days before they were presented, Qing Jinrong said with a smile. That's already very impressive. They know the characteristics of the items from different dynasties. I was thinking that if these experts went to make an imitation, they might be able to pass it off as the genuine one. Baiye chatted casually, dispelling the other party's guard. A lot of the real things have been sealed up and are only displayed in museums or exhibitions. These are the replicas made by the experts. But, a lot of the craftsmanship has been lost. Not only are they replicas, they are also exactly the same. Baiye sipped her coffee. You've done some research on this. You like antiques. I like it. I think it's very interesting. With these antiques, I feel like I've returned to that era. I also wonder if I was the owner of these antiques in my previous life. Where were these antiques placed in the past? What were they used for? Why were they placed among the funerary items? What did they represent? Qing Jinrong asked calmly. What kind of girl do you like? Judging from your description, you shouldn't be talking about porcelain, right? Baiye probed. I prefer something special. Qing Jinrong took out a jade pendant that he was wearing and placed it on the table. Do you know who wore this before? Baiye saw that the jade was very exquisite and the carvings on it were very special. She was dazzled. Who was it? Panant, Ching Jinrong said confidently. Bai Ye laughed. Panant was guilty of treason. His entire family was implicated. It's impossible for such a valuable jade pendant to be buried with him. You've been cheated. You might not know this, but Panant was an outstanding person with good taste in clothes. He had many friends and was extremely talented. He also liked to parade the streets. One day, he went out and bought this jade pendant. He had been wearing it ever since. However, because Taifu Yang Jun was killed, he was implicated. He asked someone to bring the jade pendant to his good friend, Gong Sun Hong. Gong Sun Hong saved him and the jade pendant has been with him ever since, Ching Jinrong explained. Bai Ye shrugged her shoulders. If it wasn't an antique buried with him, who would wear it? Since Ching Jinrong was so sure, if she said no, it would be a disappointment. Have you ever imagined yourself to be Panant? Ching Jinrong was a little embarrassed. I feel that he was the most wronged person. The record said that he was extremely beautiful, but he was impulsive and liked to curry favor with those in power. That's wrong. Bai Ye nodded. I agree with your point of view. From a few examples, I can see that. First, Yang Jun was killed. He had foresight. He didn't want to be implicated. This shows that he wasn't impulsive. His mother was gravely ill. When he resigned from his position, he said that if he couldn't even take care of his mother, what was the use of wealth? He was recorded in the 24 filial sons, but it was later removed. Third, he had a wife. When his wife died of illness, he was only 32 years old. He was in the prime of his life, and his career was flourishing. He became an official and lived a wealthy life, but he did not marry a wife, nor did he take a concubine. He was single for 18 years, which showed that he was very important. This shows that he valued relationships and was infatuated. He was a rare man. Ching Jinrong clapped his hands. He felt like he had found a confidant. You and I are thinking the same. However, because he was guilty of treason, when he was recorded in the history books, the emperor couldn't say that he was good. The emperor didn't want to record him in the history books and even removed his name from the 24 filial sons. Pass it on. Chapter 230. From Ching Jinrong's words, Bai Ye could sense that he might know a lot of things. I only do what I'm supposed to do, Bai Ye said meaningfully. That's good. I suddenly regret introducing him to you. Ching Jinrong's words carried a hidden meaning. Bai Ye did not ask why. She had a vague feeling that her previous judgment was correct. LV Xingzhou arrived after 11 p.m. With a face full of smiles, he was much more polite to Bai Ye. I'm sorry. I was meeting a friend. There was a traffic jam on my way here. That's why I'm late. Get to the point, Bai Ye said concisely. I agree with your suggestion. May I know when Madame Bai will be able to go to Jinyuan City? LV Xingzhou asked politely. You live in Jinyuan City. Bai Ye was surprised. Jinyuan City was not a provincial capital. Jinyuan is my hometown. My wife and children live there. I only go back on weekends. But when I go to Jinyuan City, I'll be staying longer, LV Xingzhou explained. I understand. You can leave tomorrow. I'll go to the research institute to draft the contract. Please wait for me. I hope that the first sum of money will be in my account before I leave, Bai Ye said. Sure. Let's go to the research institute now, LV Xingzhou said with a smile. Bai Ye looked at LV Xingzhou suspiciously. His attitude today was very different from before. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be like this. Wasn't he going to discuss it in detail? Or was there another reason? Baiya brought LV Xingzhou to the research institute. The main reason she went to LV Xingzhou was to tell him that she was from the research institute to lower his guard. LV Xingzhou did not get out of the car. Instead, he waited for Baiya in the car. Baiya went into her office and printed out the contract for LV Xingzhou to sign. He signed his name without hesitation. "Do you want to have lunch together?" LV Xingzhou invited. "It's fine. I'll be heading to Jinyuan City tomorrow. There will be plenty of opportunities for me to eat with you in the future. I need to go back and pack some stuff, so I won't be able to accompany you," Baiya said in a distant manner. "That's true. Then, I'll see you in the future. I'll arrange for someone to transfer the money to you." After LV Xingzhou finished speaking, he lowered the black window and drove away. Baiya watched him leave and was about to drive the car Gu Lingqing had left for her to the military base. His cell phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and answered, "Hello, who is this?" "Baiya, hello. I'm Zhou Hailan. Can you come to the hospital at noon?" "I want to see you," Zhou Hailan said softly. Baiya's lips twitched. "Sure, see you later." She wanted to see why Zhou Hailan was looking for her. Could it be that he wanted to start with her? She drove to the hospital. Song Shiyu was not there. There were 2 nurses in the hospital. "Go and get me lunch." Zhou Hailan deliberately sent the nurses away. The nurses tactfully went out. "Have a seat," Zhou Hailan said softly. Baiya sat down on the chair quietly. Zhou Hailan looked at Baiya from head to toe. "When I was imprisoned by the enemy, I was wondering if Qing would forget about me and fall in love with another woman. It seems that a woman's intuition is very accurate. You're younger, prettier, better built, and more cultured than me. I admit my defeat. Don't think too much. The most important thing for you now is to recuperate. Everything will be fine. There's one thing that I don't know who else can help me other than you." Zhou Hailan lowered her eyes. Baiya looked at her. She did not think that she had any ability other than to help Zhou Hailan psychologically. She was very guarded against Zhou Hailan. Zhou Hailan saw that Baiya did not respond to her, so she looked at Baiya worriedly. "Can you promise me that you won't tell anyone?" Baiya nodded. "Tell me. When I was imprisoned by the enemy, I was often gang raped by them until I got pregnant." Zhou Hailan paused for a moment. "They asked me to give birth to the child and then identify whose child it was." "What about the child?" Baiya frowned and asked. "When I was rescued together with the child. I don't know where it is. I don't dare to let anyone know that it's my child. Firstly, I don't have the ability to raise it. Secondly, I feel very embarrassed. I don't dare to let Qing know that I gave birth to a child, and it's a child that I got. So, what do you need my help with?" Baiya looked at Zhou Hailan suspiciously. "Help me find that child and then adopt him. After interacting with you, I feel that you are a very reasonable person. If you raise the child, he will definitely be very outstanding. Don't tell him that I'm his mother." Zhou Hailan lowered her head. Baiya looked at her. She actually could not see through Zhou Hailan at all. What was the purpose of Zhou Hailan telling her about this? "I understand. I will try to find out," Baiya replied. "Thank you. Can you not tell anyone about this?" Zhou Hailan begged again. Baiya nodded. "Don't worry." Zhou Hailan got up from the bed and kowtowed to Baiya 3 times. "Thank you for helping me regardless of the past. I am relieved that you are taking care of the child. I won't ruin your relationship with Qing, I swear. Get up. Take care of yourself." Baiya helped Zhou Hailan up and laid her down on the bed. "I'm going to Jinyuan City for a business trip tomorrow. I'll be away for about 3 months. I'll see you when I'm back. Zhou Hailan nodded. Thank you. Bai turned around and walked towards the door. Suddenly, she turned around and looked at Zhou Hailan. Zhou Hailan was stunned. What's wrong? Bai shook her head and walked out of the ward. If she was not mistaken, Zhou Hailan was staring at her back with a sharp gaze. She suddenly turned around. Zhou Hailan did not have time to react. She was startled and panicked. Since the child's matter was a trap, she would deal with it coldly and observe the situation. Zhou Hailan frowned. She watched as Bai walked away. She got up from the bed and made sure there was no one outside. She made a call and said angrily, Bai is an expert in psychology. She is meticulous and has a strong analytical ability. There's no way to fool her. Moreover, Gu Lingqing listens to her. She's very difficult to deal with. You want to back out? I can arrange for you to leave immediately. I don't need incompetent people here. Of course not. I've been away for too long. Give me more time. Zhou Hailan requested. Bai will be going to Jinyuan City tomorrow for 3 months. Think about what you're going to do. Also, unless I give you an order, don't contact me unless necessary. I'm hanging up. Zhou Hailan deleted the message in annoyance. Bai got into the car and called Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing picked up. She did not mention anything about Zhou Hailan. If the enemy did not make a move, she would not make a move. Gu Lingqing, I was chatting with Qing Jinrong today. I found out something important. Chapter 231. Bai was speechless. She was speechless for a moment. Not really. Let's get down to business first. He has an ex-girlfriend. Her father is an ancient geologist. She knows LV Xingzhou. Now, the administrative construction company and his company are fighting over that piece of land. I suspect that it is the location of the map of Tangqian village. Bai told him everything. His ex-girlfriend. He doesn't have a girlfriend now. Gu Lingqing said darkly. Bai exhaled. He should have a girlfriend by now. I'm not that familiar with him. Besides, I'm already married to a married man, and it's a military marriage. Don't you think too much? It's good that you know who you are. I will keep an eye on that piece of land and expropriate it. None of them will get it, Gu Lingqing said straightforwardly. Bai smiled. One more thing. I'm on my way back to the military. I'll leave for Jinyuan City tomorrow. LV Xingzhou's hometown is in Jinyuan City. I'm going there to be a home tutor for his child. I'll be there on Monday and Friday. Our meeting might be on Saturday. Sunday. That's fine. I'll be worried if I leave you there for 3 months. She didn't understand what Gu Lingqing meant. He wouldn't be worried if he left her there for 3 months. Why did he say that it was fine? She said, huh? Gu Lingqing was as serious as ever. He said in a deep voice, I'll go there to accompany you. Bai's heart was beating fast. She was going to Jinyuan City for 3 months. She was worried. After all, Gu Lingqing was in the military. Zhou Hailan was also in a city. Moreover, Zhou Hailan was good at deceiving people and had special privileges to go to the military. She was worried. After all, she was a woman. She didn't have the magnanimity to put her husband and her first girlfriend together. Hearing Gu Lingqing's words, her heart was filled with sweetness. What about your business in the military? Can you leave? Bai asked worriedly. Didn't you say that the piece of land is a treasure trove? I definitely have to station troops. The past 3 months have been normal. It's a normal company business trip, Gu Lingqing explained to lighten her mental burden. Bai Ye was very touched. She hesitated whether she should tell Fu Yuhuang about Zhou Hailan. After thinking about it carefully again, he decided to wait and see what would happen. Then I'll hang up first. We'll talk when we get to the military base. Bai Ye hung up and her phone rang again. Seeing that it was Su Jiran, she hesitated for a moment before answering. Where is it? Let's have a meal together today, Su Jiran said with a smile. Su Jiran, there's something I want to tell you. My marriage registration with Gu Lingqing hasn't been cancelled. I'm his legal wife now, and it's a military marriage. I can't get a divorce. So, if you really like me, let me go. I don't want to add more troubles. Life is not easy. Bai Ye said straightforwardly. Then, he cut off all his fantasies. Su Jiran was silent for a moment, and then smiled. What if I ask you this time to talk about your child? I've found the child of you and Gu Lingqing. Really? Bai Ye didn't believe it. Nowadays, the identification technology is so scientific. I can't lie to you even if I want to. Between the son and Gu Lingqing, you can only choose one. In our wedding room, I'll wait for you. See you in an hour. If you don't come, don't think about seeing the child in the future. I'll also disappear from your life completely, Su Jiran said. After that, he hung up. Bai Ye stared straight ahead. Her hands were still in a motionless position. Her mind was in a momentary confusion. She stopped the car by the roadside, and many chaotic thoughts flashed through her mind. She wanted to go to Su Jiran's place first, but she was worried that if she went there, Su Jiran might use force. If she didn't go, she was worried that she would really miss the opportunity to see the child. Another possibility was to tell Gu Lingqing to find out the whereabouts of the child. If he dared to do anything to the child, she and Gu Lingqing would not let Su Jiran off. But she didn't dare to risk losing the child. Although she had to choose between the child and Gu Lingqing, she and Gu Lingqing were married to a soldier, and they couldn't get a divorce. She had a buffer time. Now, her mind was in a mess. She called Su Jiran. Su Jiran picked up the call. A childish voice sounded. Hello, Uncle said, are you my mother? Bai Ye's heart sank. She was even more confused. Baby, how old are you? 5.5. Mother, don't you even know how old I am? Are you my mother? Xiao Bao's baby questioned. Bai Ye felt extremely guilty. Baby, can you give the phone to Uncle? Su Jiran picked up the call. Su Jiran, can you show me what the baby looks like? How can you be sure that he's my baby? Bai Ye questioned. I've checked your paternity test. Of course, I can do it, Su Jiran said with certainty. I think you're lying to me. Where did you find Xiao Bao's baby? Bai Ye probed. If you want to know the details, look for the answer yourself. Bai Ye, I won't give you any extra time. I know Gu Lingqing's ability. Within an hour, if you don't arrive, I'll send your son to a place where you'll never find him again. Think carefully. If I find out that you've told Gu Lingqing, you'll never see your son again. Don't be so absolute. It doesn't mean that A is B, there are other choices, right? Bai Ye said anxiously. There's no other choice. Son or Gu Lingqing. Think carefully. Su Jiran hung up the phone without hesitation. Bai Ye took out her notebook and wrote on the paper for a long time. She wrote down the pros and cons. As the authority, she had lost her direction and walked into a dead end. Seeing the time passing by, she became more and more anxious. She hit the steering wheel heavily. She couldn't control her emotions anymore. She took out the medicine from her bag and poured it on her hand. At the same time, she made a decision. She might not be able to give birth to a beautiful baby in the future. She wanted her son. Gu Lingqing was very capable. He would definitely find her. He definitely would. Baiya threw the medicine into her mouth and leaned on the steering wheel. She calmed herself down gradually and a sharp light flashed in her eyes. She called Lu Shuang. Cool girl, one is your biological son and the other is your beloved husband. Between the two, which one will you learn? Baiya asked. Her purpose was to leave a vague message to Gu Lingqing. In this way, it didn't count as telling Gu Lingqing. There's only one son, but I can have many husbands. Of course, it's my son. Moreover, my son is my own flesh and blood. He's definitely closer to me than a man. Lu Shuang said casually. What's wrong? Chapter 232. For safety's sake, she bought pepper spray and an electric baton when she passed by an appliance store. She placed them in her bag before heading to Su Jiran's villa. It took her an hour to get there. She keyed in the password and it was Xing Jinyan's birthday. It was ironic, wasn't it? The door opened and Baiya walked in. Su Jiran was watching cartoons with a little boy on the sofa. Baiya was shocked when she saw the child. It was a miniature version of her and he looked just like her when she was young. Su Jiran smiled devilishly and looked at Baiya. What are you waiting for? The dishes are in the kitchen waiting for you to make them. Lil Tian and I haven't eaten yet. Lil Tian looked at Baiya. He looked at Baiya and asked in a childish voice, Are you my mummy? Baiya was stunned for a few seconds. She walked over to the little boy and squatted down in front of him. She was so shocked that her mind went blank as she looked at the little boy's face. Lil Tian looked back at Baiya and also looked at Baiya. As he looked, his eyes turned red and tears flowed out. He said sadly, Mummy, why didn't you come to find me? Baiya looked at the little boy's tears and her heart seemed to have been hit by something. Tears flowed out of her eyes. Her child was snatched away less than a week after he was born. She had wanted to protect her child from the start. Baiya rubbed the little boy's head. I'm sorry, Mummy couldn't find you. Lil Tian threw himself into Baiya's arms and hugged Baiya tightly. Mummy, you found Lil Tian. You'll never abandon me again, right? Of course not. Mummy will take good care of you, Baiya said with certainty. The little boy cried even more sadly. Mummy, Mummy. I didn't have a good life in the past. When Baiya heard the bad things that the little fellow said, her heart ached even more, and her heart was filled with sorrow. She was the one who brought the child to the human world. It was her fault for not protecting him properly that caused him to live such an unfortunate life. Alright, you guys have a good chat. I'm going to the kitchen. Su Jiran walked towards the kitchen with a malicious glint in his eyes. Things had gone far out of his control. This was not good. He turned around and looked at Baiya, who was smiling gently. Originally, this woman was his. She would have given birth to several lively and lovely children for him. Their family should have been very happy. Su Jiran furrowed his brows. His expression was extremely ugly. He wanted to return to the past more and more. When she still loved him. Now, as long as he was given a chance, there was still time, right? Su Jiran walked into the kitchen. Tell me, how did Uncle find you? Baiya asked softly. Little Tian pursed his lips and cried again. Baiya wiped away little Tian's tears. You've suffered a lot in the past. Now that you have me, I won't let you suffer anymore. My adoptive parents adopted me. In the 3rd year, when I had a younger brother, they didn't treat me well. They sold me to human traffickers. They wanted to cut open my stomach and put poison in it. I escaped and have been wandering the streets ever since. I've been to many places, but I often don't have enough to eat. I can't sleep. I'm afraid I'll be caught again, little Tian said sadly. Only then did Baya realize that little Tian was very, very thin. His face did not have the luster of a 6-year-old child. Although he was dressed very well, probably because Su Jiran had changed him into good clothes. Baya did not dare to imagine what this little fellow would do in the winter when he had no money. Where do you sleep? Baya asked with a pained heart. I'm very smart. I sleep in KFC. It's open 24/7. There's heating in winter and air conditioning in summer. But they don't like me, so I walk to a different place every day. During the day, I walk to beg for food. At night, I sleep in KFC. The more Baya listened, the more her heart ached. Tears streamed down her face. She thought that her childhood was unfortunate. She spent a long time in the orphanage. But after her mother came out of the nursing home, she took her away. Before her illness, she had enjoyed a mother's love. When she was in the orphanage, she did not have to worry about clothes, food, or sleep. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I didn't protect you well. It won't happen again, Baya said with tears streaming down her face. Come over and eat, Su Jiran shouted. Baya turned around in surprise. Didn't he say he didn't cook? Su Jiran smiled charmingly. His voice was very gentle and magnetic. Come over and eat. I'm just joking with you. The food was delivered. I'm just waiting for you to eat. You shouldn't have starved the child, Baya frowned and complained. Su Jiran's smile widened. How would I dare to starve your sweetheart? When I was waiting for you, I ate a cake. Baya was a little relieved. He held Lil Tian's hand and walked to the dining table. When he saw the dishes on the table, his eyes lit up. Thank you, Daddy Su, for preparing so much delicious food. It would be great if I could have so much delicious food every day. The child's wish was pure and simple. But Baya felt sour when she heard that. This was what other children had every day but did not cherish. It was indeed what this child desired from the bottom of his heart. Su Jiran smiled and picked up a drumstick for Lil Tian. Then from now on, you will be with Daddy Su and Mommy Su every day, okay? Okay. Lil Tian was so touched that he cried. Baya looked at the child lovingly. The tears in her eyes could not stop flowing. Su Jiran handed a napkin to Baya. Baya took the napkin and wiped Lil Tian's tears. She also wiped her own tears. Su Jiran held her hand. Xiaoya, I know that this is the life you've been dreaming of. Children, a husband, a family. I can give you a warm home. You can see the changes in me, right? I've been waiting for you. I won't make any more mistakes in the future. We will be very happy. If you are willing to give birth to a child for me, we will have another child. Our love for Lil Tian will not diminish. If you don't want a child, we don't want one. I will treat Lil Tian as mine. Baya lowered her eyes. She had calmed down. She was a little emotional now. She did not want the child to see it. She stood up and walked to the washroom. Su Jiran followed and hugged Baya from behind. I love you. You know that I can give up anything for you. I can give up nothing as long as you are with me. Su Jiran confessed. Baya looked at him. The child is Gu Lingqing's. Can't you give it to me? A crack appeared in Su Jiran's eyes. His eyes were red and wet. Xiaoya, I gave up my career and my enemies for you. Aren't you being a little too cruel to me? I gave the child to you and Gu Lingqing. What about me? Am I all alone? I can't. I have you. Chapter 233. Su Jiran was angry. He also felt heartache because of Bai Ye's favoritism towards Gu Lingqing. He let go of her hand. Bai Ye, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You want Gu Lingqing and the child at the same time. That's impossible. If you want Gu Lingqing, I won't give the child to you. I'll also tell Lil Tian that you chose love and abandoned him. Lil Tian is still young. You will traumatize him if you do this, Bai Ye said anxiously. She could not help but hate Su Jiran's methods. Isn't this your choice? Love or family, you can only choose one, Su Jiran said. He was very determined as he stared at Bai Ye. Bai Ye stared back at Su Jiran. Her mind was spinning very quickly. Why couldn't she have love and family at the same time? That child clearly belonged to her and Gu Lingqing. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing. Now that she knew what the child looked like, with facial recognition, with Gu Lingqing's ability, he would definitely be able to find Lil Tian. Bai Ye's cloudy eyes gradually became clear. She had to leave now. She could not anger Su Jiran. She had to retreat safely. I need to think about it. Su Jiran smiled. Xiaoya, I know you too well. Your eyes tell me that you have already made up your mind. Now that you said you need to think about it instead of telling me your decision directly, it means that your decision is to choose Gu Lingqing. You're thinking that since Gu Lingqing is so capable, as long as you tell Gu Lingqing, you will definitely be able to find the child. Based on the child's appearance, you will definitely be able to find the child. Bai Ye furrowed her brows. Su Jiran was too scary. He had analyzed her thoughts very thoroughly. She was a little annoyed. She studied psychology, but she didn't hide her thoughts well. Didn't you ask me to choose one of the two? Since you chose Gu Lingqing, I can only respect your choice. However, I will give the child plastic surgery and give him bone marrow replacement surgery. You know, as long as the bone marrow is replaced, the DNA will be changed, so, you will never find him, he will still be resentful for the rest of his life. I hate your choice, Su Jiran said coldly and turned around. Bai Ye grabbed his arm anxiously. You can't do this. The child is still young. This is too cruel. Su Jiran glanced at her, and there was no warmth in his eyes. You think I'm cruel to the child, but aren't you cruel to me? Why can't you imagine what you've done when you're talking about how cruel I've been to you? What did you do to me 3 years ago? In order to gain Xing Jinyan's favor, you tried to kill me many times. Have you forgotten all of this? Bai Ye was emotional. When did I try to kill you? I told you that the person who kidnapped you would never hurt you. It was a trap set up by me. I wanted Xing Jinyan to trust me completely because I wanted to take revenge, but I didn't want you to die. Su Jiran was also emotional. What about the harm you've done to me? 3 years. I gave you 3 years of time. I watched the women around you change one after another. Do you know how I felt at that time? I was in purgatory every day, living a life worse than death. That's because I used my hatred for Xing Batian on you. I haven't seen through my feelings for you. In the 3 years that you were abroad, I kept myself clean because I knew that I was in love with you. You wanted me to castrate myself, so I castrated myself. I didn't care about sex at all, I only cared about you. Su Jiran raised his voice. Bai Ye was angry and pushed Su Jiran hard. This choice of family and love made her break down. She picked up the hand sanitizer on the sink and smashed it on the ground. After smashing it on the ground, she was still angry. She then threw the napkin box on the sink on the ground. She still felt that she couldn't vent the anger in her heart and smashed the vase on the ground. She went into the bathroom. The shower gel, shampoo, and shaving lotion were all smashed on the ground. She still felt uncomfortable and punched the wall hard. Panic flashed in Soo-jiran's eyes. He had seen this crazy state of hers from Baiya's mother, Bai Bing. He rushed forward and hugged Baiya. Baiya struggled with brute force, but she couldn't get out. She turned her head and bit Soo-jiran's arm. Soo-jiran let out a muffled groan. Baiya tasted the blood, but she still bit him hard. The door was pushed open. Xiao Tian stood at the door and looked at the two people inside. He said in a childish voice, "Daddy Sue, Mommy, are you fighting because of my appearance? Daddy Sue is the person who treats me the best, and I like Mommy too. If you fight because of me, I'll leave after dinner. Don't fight because of me." Baiya paused and looked out of the door. The little fellow looked at them pitifully. Tears flowed down Baiya's face, past her chin, and fell on Soo-jiran's hand. She saw the blood on Soo-jiran's arm and stained his white shirt. She also saw the mess in the room. She was stunned and a little absent-minded. She was acting up again. When she was emotional, she couldn't think at all. Her mind was blank. When she woke up, she didn't even know what she had done. Seeing that Baiya had calmed down, Soo-jiran let go of Baiya, walked to Xiao Tian, rubbed his head, and said with a smile, "Daddy Sue and Mommy Tian didn't fight because of Xiao Tian. It has nothing to do with Xiao Tian. We are both happy to find Xiao Tian. Xiao Tian, be a good boy and go out for dinner. We'll have a good chat with Xiao Tian's mommy. We'll have dinner with Xiao Tian later. Can Daddy Sue and Mommy Sue not fight?" Xiao Tian asked. "Daddy Sue and Mommy Sue don't fight. Look, Daddy Sue is holding Xiao Tian's mommy. Daddy Sue promised Xiao Tian that he and Mommy Tian will never fight. I will spoil and love Mommy Tian, just like Daddy Sue loves Xiao Tian, okay?" Soo-jiran coaxed patiently. Xiao Tian looked at Baiya, ran over, and hugged Baiya. His small body only reached Baiya's waist. Baiya lowered her head and looked at Xiao Tian. How could she bear to let him, who was not even 6 years old, continue to wander around? Just the thought of it made her heart ache. Tears continued to roll down her cheeks. "Mommy, don't cry. I'll protect you when I grow up." Xiao Tian looked at Baiya with fear in his eyes. He was afraid of being abandoned. A child's eyes were innocent, and he didn't know how to hide his emotions. Baiya caught his emotions and squatted down. She looked at Xiao Tian and said, "Xiao Tian, go eat first. I want to talk to your daddy Sue." "Okay. Xiao Tian, be a good boy. Xiao Tian will go eat. I won't cause trouble for Daddy and Mommy." Xiao Tian went out obediently and closed the door for them. Chapter 234. When did it start? Soo-jiran asked worriedly. Her illness was similar to her mother's, so she did not want to hide it. "After I committed suicide and was saved." "You're a psychiatrist. Haven't you cured many patients?" Soo-jiran was confused. He did not believe Baiya when she said that she was mentally ill and did not take it seriously. He was really scared just now. A doctor can't cure himself. I've tried to hypnotize myself many times, but I've failed. So, I always carry 2 kinds of medicine in my bag. One is sleeping pills, and the other is chlorpromazine. Chlorpromazine is a sedative that is very effective for mania, but it has a lot of side effects. It's toxic and can only be excreted after 6 hours. So, I can't take it twice in a row within 6 hours, or it will cause high intraocular pressure and depression. So, I can't sleep for a long time and have severe insomnia. After using the sleeping pills for a long time, I'll become dependent. I don't think I'll live to old age. Even if I do, I'll have dementia. I won't know anyone and will be immersed in my own thoughts. I won't even know that I've lost control of my bowels. Even if you talk to me, I won't be able to hear you. It's more annoying than being in a vegetative state, Baya said calmly. Su Jiran's heart ached terribly. Baya was good at studying since she was young. Even when she went to university and had to work to earn money, she was still the first in her class and received scholarships every year. How could such a smart girl get dementia when she was old? He knew by Bing's situation. It can be cured, right? Su Jiran frowned. I don't know. Maybe the future is more advanced. The future is too far for me, so I never think about it. Baya took a deep breath and looked at him. Su Jiran, are you willing to give me the child? Su Jiran was furious. He held Baya's shoulder. Are you still stubborn? Who made you commit suicide? Who gave you this illness? It's not me, it's Gu Lingqing. If you stay with Gu Lingqing, your illness will worsen. Let me tell you, Zhou Hailan has a child too. The child belongs to Gu Lingqing. Baya's calm eyes wavered. What did you say? How is that possible? Zhou Hailan told me that the child was born after she was gang raped when she was imprisoned. Why do you think those people injected Gu Lingqing with an aphrodisiac 6 years ago? Gu Lingqing ran away and didn't have sex with Zhou Hailan, but he had sex with you. After those people went, they collected Gu Lingqing's J fluid and made Zhou Hailan pregnant. They wanted to have Gu Lingqing's child, so that they could use it to threaten Gu Lingqing in the future, Su Jiran said firmly. Baiya's brain exploded. She staggered backward. Su Jiran didn't hold her hand tightly and she almost fell. She held on to the pool. She suspected that Zhou Hailan was lying when he said that he was raped. Zhou Hailan should know that the child belonged to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't know. So, Zhou Hailan wanted to bring the child out through her hands. Then, Zhou Hailan would say that she was raped and make Gu Lingqing feel guilty. She felt a headache just thinking about it. Gu Lingqing was a very responsible person. If Zhou Hailan had his child and was raped because of him, his decision might change. She couldn't bear his change. She would really go crazy and never wake up again. Suddenly, she didn't want to struggle anymore. She wanted to live a quiet life. She wanted a home, a place where she felt warm and cozy. A place where she knew where she should go after a busy day. I choose my child, Baya said gently. She lowered her eyes and let out a sigh. Su Jiran was emotional. He hugged Baya. I will take good care of you. I won't let you get hurt again. It's okay if you can't have children. We have little Tian, and that's enough. Is Zhou Hailan a spy? Baya asked again. I don't think so. I've checked on her past. She completed many missions outstandingly. If she's a spy, it's impossible for her to work for the country and complete her missions smoothly. Why do you ask? Su Jiran didn't understand. Baya's lips twitched. Because of prejudice. I don't think she's a good person. Instead, I think Xia He is a good person. Moreover, Zhou Hailan lied to me. She should know that Gu Lingqing didn't have sex with her. She should have been raped. After she fainted, she was injected with Gu Lingqing's J fluid, Su Jiran explained. How do you know so clearly? It's as if you saw it with your own eyes. Baya raised her doubts. I caught a fish that slipped through the net. He said everything, including the fact that the child is Gu Lingqing's. But, Zhou Hailan was raped. They couldn't be sure whose child it was, right? Baiya was doubtful. That's because the people before him all used condoms. Of course, they could be sure that the child was Gu Lingqing's. Zhou Hailan fainted. They didn't know what happened after that. Then why didn't they let Zhou Hailan know that the child was Gu Lingqing's? Zhou Hailan should really want to give birth to Gu Lingqing's child. Weren't they afraid that Zhou Hailan would lose the child? Baiya still didn't believe that Zhou Hailan was a good person. It's not like that. Zhou Hailan was raped in the past. She was very afraid of being raped again. Therefore, the pregnancy was a protective umbrella for her. She wouldn't lose the child. On the contrary, she would protect the child well and not let herself be raped again. But, if Zhou Hailan knew that the child was Gu Lingqing's, then she would know that those people wanted to harm Gu Lingqing. She loved Gu Lingqing very much. For Gu Lingqing, she would disfigure herself and burn herself to death. Therefore, she wouldn't keep the child. Since those people got Gu Lingqing's child, why didn't they let anyone else have the child? Why did they let Zhou Hailan have the child? Baiya scrutinized Su Jiran's eyes. That's because they thought that the child was Zhou Hailan's. That's why Gu Lingqing would have a special feeling of pity for the child. If the child was theirs, according to Gu Lingqing's upright and plain-spoken character, she wouldn't have been merciful. Su Jiran analyzed. Baiya's eyes flickered, and her eyebrows slightly furrowed. There was no logical flaw in what Su Jiran said. Perhaps she really had a prejudice against Zhou Hailan, so she misunderstood her and looked at this woman with prejudice. Since Zhou Hailan was a good person and not a spy, she was not worried that Gu Lingqing would be in danger. Su Jiran, can you give me some time? I'm already married to Gu Lingqing. I want to divorce first and then go with you. I'll only go with you for 3 years. After 3 years, you can't force me to stay or leave. Can you agree? Baiya made the final negotiation. Chapter 235. I still have things to do. Give me 3 months. Baiya was very determined. She had given up halfway through many things. Her love for Su Jiran, her love for Gu Lingqing, and her work. Now that she had faked her death, she could no longer stay in City A. She wanted to do something to avoid leaving any regrets. Okay, I'll give you 3 months. I'll send little Tian away in 3 months. Baiya, don't do anything that you'll regret, and don't let Gu Lingqing know about it. Otherwise, there's no turning back. Su Jiran reminded her. Baiya nodded. I'm going back. I'll go to Jinyuan City tomorrow. I'll send you back to the military base. Su Jiran opened the door of the washroom. It's okay. I can go back by myself. Baiya looked at little Tian. He sat on the chair obediently and looked at them like a child who was afraid of being abandoned. Baiya walked up and kissed little Tian on his forehead. I have some things to deal with. Little Tian, wait for me for a few months. From now on, we won't be separated anymore. Little Tian jumped down from the chair and hugged Baiya. I have a mother now. I won't be bullied anymore. Even if I have to live under a bridge with you, I'll feel very happy. Baiya rubbed little Tian's head. I have money. I won't let you live under a bridge with me. I'll let you go to school, study, find a wife, and be a useful person. Okay. As long as you don't want little Tian, I'll listen to you, little Tian said in a childish voice. Baiya kissed little Tian on his forehead again and walked to the door. Su Jiran called a taxi. Baiya got into the car and left. She leaned on the chair in a daze. Her mind was filled with Su Jiran's words. 3 months later, she would be with little Tian and live a peaceful and warm life. Perhaps this was the happiest life. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Gu Lingqing's call and picked it up. When will he arrive? Gu Lingqing asked softly. 1 or 2 hours. What's wrong? Bai Ye looked outside and tried to determine where he was. My mom asked you out for dinner. Since you didn't want to go, I rejected her for you. You can go, Bai Ye agreed. Previously, when she wanted to be with Gu Lingqing, she would think before she spoke and did things. Now that she was leaving, it didn't matter anymore. She didn't want to put Gu Lingqing in a difficult position. Then don't come back yet. I'll see you in 2 hours at the famous Jiangnan restaurant in Shuiyu International. Okay. Bai Ye hung up the phone. Anyway, she didn't have much luggage. She could go back to pack after dinner. She first went to Shuiyu International and bought 3 sets of clothes, some cosmetics, and a lipstick for Song Shiyu. After she bought it, she went to the famous restaurant in Jiangnan. Song Shiyu also happened to arrive, and the two of them bumped into each other. Bai Ye nodded politely. Follow me. Song Shiyu maintained her arrogance and entered the private room. She passed the menu to Bai Ye. Order whatever you like. I'm not particular about food. You can order. Bai Ye passed the menu to Song Shiyu. Song Shiyu felt that the current Bai Ye was a little strange. She didn't have the sharpness in the morning. She seemed a lot gentler. She frowned slightly and sketched on the menu. 3 minutes later, she passed it to the waiter. The waiter went out to place the order. Song Shiyu looked at Bai Ye seriously. I've thought about what you said seriously. I'm sorry that my words were harsh. Bai Ye took out the lipstick from her bag and placed it in front of Song Shiyu. This color of lipstick suits your temperament and skin color. I bought it when I went to buy cosmetics. I thought of you and bought it. I'm not good to you, Song Shiyu said coldly. When I'm angry, I'll think that you're not good to me. But when I look at things from your perspective, I realize that you've already done your best. You've sacrificed a lot for your family, for your husband, and for your child, Bai Ye said gently. Song Shiyu narrowed her eyes and said defensively, You're trying to please me. Bai Ye smiled. You invited Lingqing and me to dinner, and you came alone. You must be expressing your blessings for me and Lingqing, or perhaps you have something to tell me. Pleasing me won't change your opinion of me. Psychology is really good. You can understand people's hearts and confuse men, Song Shiyu said in disdain. Actually, psychology can't confuse men. There's a scale in everyone's heart. It's just that you can understand each other's thoughts better than others, Bai Ye explained. If I had the right to decide, I wouldn't choose you as my daughter-in-law. But Lingqing likes you. Just like what you said, I don't want him to forget how to love when he has everything. When she said the last sentence, Song Shiyu was a little sad. Bai Ye looked down. Song Shiyu had already agreed for her to be with Gu Lingqing, but she couldn't stay with Gu Lingqing forever. No one can tell what will happen in the future. You don't have to worry about it. Just do what you want to do. Or, the more you do, the more mistakes you'll make. Forget it, Bai Ye said meaningfully. Why do I feel that you're a little strange? I've agreed for you to be together, but you're putting on airs. Song Shiyu was a little angry. I'll take things as they come. Let nature take its course, Bai Ye said lazily. The door was pushed open. Gu Lingqing walked in and saw that both Bai Ye and Song Shiyu were there. Mom. After he greeted them, he sat next to Bai Ye and held Bai Ye's hand. He looked at Bai Ye. Bai Ye smiled. We came 10 minutes earlier than you. The dishes are already ordered. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. When are you guys planning to have children? Song Shiyu went straight to the point. Yes, what's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked in confusion. I'm not old yet. When you guys have children, I can help take care of them. Let's have a wedding another day. Song Shiyu agreed with Bai Ye. Gu Lingqing understood why Song Shiyu invited them to dinner. Thank you, Mom. I hope you guys can grow old together, Song Shiyu said plainly and looked at Bai Ye. Bai Ye didn't say anything. She lowered her eyes. Gu Lingqing's grip on her hand tightened a little. Bai Ye looked at him. He smiled. Gu Lingqing rarely smiled. When he smiled, he looked exceptionally good. However, his smile was poison. It could directly poison her heart. It made her heart ache at the thought of separation. In the future, when she was gone, he would probably be with Zhou Hailan. It turned out that from the beginning to the end, she was the passerby, not Zhou Hailan. After dinner, it was still early. After Gu Lingqing put the clothes she bought in the car, he held her hand and went shopping in Shuiyu International, just like a normal couple. Chapter 236. Bai Ye came back to her senses and glanced at Gu Lingqing. She was thinking that she and Gu Lingqing had gone through so many twists and turns and could not be together no matter what. Was it because she did not fulfill her promise to Tang Xiaozhou? After she left, would Gu Lingqing be with Zhou Hailan and forget her again? In the future, where would she go with little Tian after changing her appearance? As she thought about it, her thoughts became more and more erratic and she began to meditate. I was thinking about what happened in Tangxian village and I was a little absent-minded, Bai Ye said with a smile. Gu Lingqing smiled and looked at her lovingly. I didn't expect my mother to agree to us being together so quickly. Your mother actually loves you. 3 years ago, your father kidnapped me and your mother stopped him. If it wasn't for your mother, I might have died. She is not a bad person. She just thinks that you are more suitable for someone better, Bai Ye explained generously. Time reveals a person's heart. They will realize that you are good and they will also know that you are the most suitable person for me. Bai Ye did not say anything and held Gu Lingqing's arm. If there were only 3 months before she completely left, she would also love Gu Lingqing so that she would not have any regrets in the future. Lingqing, let's do a multiple choice question. You have been locked up in a room for several years. When you are about to leave, you can take one thing with you. What will you take with you? The choices are, a teacup, a dog, the diary you have written all these years, a tape recorder. What is your answer? Bai Ye asked casually. What do these things represent? You can ask me directly if you want to know. I will tell you. Other than military secrets, I will not hide anything from you. Gu Lingqing saw something wrong. I am just asking casually. Bai Ye shrugged. You have known me for 6 years. You should know what kind of person I am and what my thoughts are. Testing is not suitable for us. Tell me, what is it? Your condition hasn't been right, Gu Lingqing asked directly. Lingqing, I'm just hypothesizing. If one day, between your child and me, you could only choose one, who would you choose? Bai Ye asked. You. Gu Lingqing said without even thinking. What if you die without the child? Bai Ye asked immediately. You. Gu Lingqing didn't even blink. Why? Bai Ye was puzzled. Under the premise of a single choice, I can have many children. You only have one. In terms of feelings, I only have feelings for you. This single choice is easy for me to make. Xiaoya, what about you? Gu Lingqing asked and looked at her with burning eyes. Bai Ye was silent. Her eyes were complicated. She was afraid that Gu Lingqing would notice something, so she lowered her head. I don't know either. The child was taken away because of my negligence. If I don't want him anymore, he will be too pitiful. Your worries are not real at all. This child is also mine. How could I not want him? Little fool, what are you thinking in your head? You are worrying for nothing. Gu Lingqing flicked her forehead. Baiyi twitched the corner of her mouth. Since she had made a choice, she didn't want to be entangled in it. She saw the cinema in front. Let's go watch a movie together. You and I haven't had a good time watching a movie. Okay. Gu Lingqing said lovingly, what movie do you want to watch? I don't think it's literary. Science fiction. Baiyi stared at the screen and said. Okay. Gu Lingqing paid, bought a big bucket of popcorn and 2 cups of Coke, and entered the cinema with her. The movie that Gu Lingqing chose was The Rise of the Opposite Sex. It was mainly about a spaceship that had an accident, passed through a black hole, and landed on a foreign planet. There were aliens invading a human's body. It was a sci-fi thriller. She didn't really watch this kind of movie, but watching it with Gu Lingqing felt different. They were like a couple in love, sharing popcorn, watching a movie, and enjoying the sweet time of the two of them. She glanced at him. He was looking at the movie screen, and the colorful light emitted from the screen lit up his handsome side profile. Gu Lingqing felt her gaze and looked at her. What's wrong? Do you want to drink Coke? Baiyi smiled. I think you are better looking than the movie. Gu Lingqing's lips twitched. He hugged her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. Baiyi breathed in the clean and fresh scent on Gu Lingqing's body. She had thought it through very clearly. Within 3 months, she would try her best to find the murderer of Tangqian village and give Tang Xiaojiu an explanation. After she faked her death, she would never marry again, let alone fall in love with someone else. 3 years later, Su Jiran would let go of her. She would take good care of Gu Lingqing's child. True love was not possessiveness. She knew how to let go, so that Gu Lingqing's life could be a little more relaxed. She had no regrets. After the movie, Baiyi sorted out her thoughts. She and Gu Lingqing were the last to leave. I'm a little hungry. Shall we go for supper? Baiyi invited. Sure, when are you leaving tomorrow? Gu Lingqing asked. I'll sleep until I wake up naturally. I don't have to work tomorrow anyway. I'm just on my way. I'll go to Jinyuan the day after tomorrow. Tell me which hotel you're staying in after you check in. I'll book a few rooms around you. Gu Lingqing arranged. Sounds good. What do you want to eat tonight? Seafood, barbecue, or food stalls? Baiyi asked, looking at the barbecue shop not far away with a smile. Let's have barbecue then. Gu Lingqing pulled her across the road. There were quite a lot of people eating barbecue. After they ordered, they sat in the innermost area. Baiyi also brought 2 bottles of beer and 2 disposable cups over. Gu Lingqing took them, opened the cap and poured the beer for Baiyi first. Baiyi looked at Gu Lingqing with infatuation. Although he didn't talk much and was usually cool, she felt that he was considered a perfect man. He gave people a calm and reassuring feeling. Gu Lingqing saw her eyes and cleared his throat. If you keep looking at me like this, I can't wait to go to the hotel. Pfft, Baiyi laughed. He was actually quite humorous after being a man of few words. There were 5 people who massacred the village. Other than Governor Qing, LV Xingzhou, and LV Liang City, who else do you think is involved? Baiyi changed the topic. I just checked. LV Xingzhou is very low-key. He doesn't even have much contact with LV Liang City. If there's someone special, it should be your father, Xing Bachuan. They met recently and chatted for a long time. It seems like they're old acquaintances, Gu Lingqing said awkwardly. Him. Baiyi smiled. It's not strange if he's one of the people who massacred the village. A person who could abandon his wife and feed her antidepressants would do such a crazy thing. Chapter 237. Baiya's heart trembled violently. In other words, even if Zhou Hailon came to him with the child, he would still choose her, right? Unfortunately, she was the one who let go first. Even if they were not together in the future, he would still be the man she loved the most and the man she would love forever. Gu Lingqing, why do you like me? Didn't you say that I'm not your type? Baiya said with a smile. You kept pushing me away previously, so I said that on purpose. I felt that you fit my expectations, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Because she was not good at saying sweet nothings, her face was slightly red. I'm quite mean, and my words are not nice either, Baiya said self-deprecatingly. Those who speak nice words must have something to gain from it. Even if it's not for profit, speaking nice words to everyone is too philanthropic. I will naturally be on guard against those who speak nice words. As for those who are mean, I feel that what you said is quite reasonable. It's not mean, right? Gu Lingqing explained. Baiya giggled. I have a bad temper. It's Taobao's customer service that has a good temper. I don't have a good temper either, so I naturally won't expect others to have a good temper. My figure isn't good either. Gu Lingqing took a sip of wine. You're too skinny. Baiya, Gu Lingqing was too honest. However, she liked his sincerity. His words were truthful and trustworthy, which made her feel warm. Then I'll have to eat more so that you won't dislike me in the future, Baiya teased. I don't have any requirements for a woman's figure. If they're thin, they'll be fat if they eat more. If they're fat, they'll be fat if they exercise more. If they're ugly, they can have plastic surgery. If they're beautiful, they'll have wrinkles when they're old. What I value is that we can communicate. I think it's good to communicate with you. Gu Lingqing's eyes were burning. He looked at her with burning eyes. These words were very useful to her. All of a sudden, he felt his heart ache. If only Gu Lingqing found their child first. She didn't have to make a difficult choice. He would love their child, and their family could live happily together. At worst, she could accept Zhou Hailon's child. After all, it was not Gu Lingqing's betrayal, but he did not know about it. Baiya was too depressed in his heart, but he couldn't say it out loud, so he drank all the wine in the cup in one gulp. Drink slowly. It's not good for your health and you'll get drunk easily, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. When drinking with a bosom friend, 1,000 cups are not enough. I'm happy. I feel lucky to be able to be soul mates with the person I love. Gu Lingqing, you are an extraordinary man. Thank you for falling in love with me, who is full of flaws. Baiya poured himself a glass of beer and raised his glass. Gu Lingqing touched her shoulder. When I couldn't find you, I tried my best to find my lost memory. When I found you, I didn't have any regrets when I found that memory. After all, you are by my side. Baiya's heart ached even more. What if she died in an explosion 3 months later? The more Gu Lingqing loved her, the more pain he would feel. After knowing the truth, he would hate her even more. Baiya wanted to drink all the wine in the cup again, but Gu Lingqing snatched the cup from her hand. We will drink together for a long time in the future. Don't drink like this. Take a sip. Baiya only smiled, with a smile of being spoiled. She had read a story before. The gist of it was that a woman who had been married for a long time felt that she was living in purgatory in front of her husband who didn't speak much. She searched for passion outside and met a handsome young fresh meat. At the same time, she reunited with her first love at a party. He was now a big boss with a successful career. All 3 men said that they loved her. She stood at the crossroads of her life and invited her first love and the young fresh meat to her house for hot pot. She wanted to have a showdown, to divorce, to make the final choice. During the meal, she was scalded by the oil in the hot pot, and her hands were red. The young fresh meat looked at her in a daze. Her first love asked her if she was okay. Her husband immediately went to the fridge to get some ice cubes and wrapped them in a towel. He held her hand and helped her to stop the pain. In an instant, she understood who the man who loved her the most was. From then on, she returned to her family and took care of her husband and children. She was more patient, tolerant and understanding. Gu Lingqing was such a person. He was a man of few words, cold and rigid, and was not good at expressing himself. However, his every move expressed his care and love. Gu Lingqing, I waited for you for 3 years. If I ask you to wait for me for 3 years, am I being stubborn? Bai Ye asked with a smile. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened, and he looked at her in confusion. What do you mean by that? What are you going to do if I wait for you for 3 years? Bai Ye leaned on the table. I'm just saying. I don't want to. I'll go wherever you go. You're my legitimate wife. We'll have our wedding when we come back from Jinyuan in 3 months. Don't have any crooked ideas. Gu Lingqing was a little unhappy, and he drank the wine in his glass in one gulp. Bai Ye was a little worried. What if she died? Would Gu Lingqing die with her? The waiter served the barbecue they ordered. Gu Lingqing blew on the chicken wing and passed it to her. Be careful, it's hot. Bai Ye took it and took a bite absent-mindedly. You eat too. Bai Ye's phone rang. She saw that it was Su Jiran calling. She suddenly felt annoyed and hung up the phone. Gu Lingqing took her phone and saw the name Su Jiran. He conveniently blacklisted Su Jiran. I don't think there's a need for you to keep in touch with him, Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. Bai Ye felt a wave of warmth flowed through her heart. She followed Gu Lingqing's lead and said, That's true. Eat. I'll send you back after eating. It's getting late. Bai Ye put her phone into her bag, and she frowned and looked outside. Su Jiran's men couldn't be watching her all the time, could they? What are you looking at? Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. I want to order some eggplant. It looks delicious. Bai Ye found an excuse. You eat, I'll order for you. Gu Lingqing stood up and went to the ordering area. Bai Ye took out her phone and sent a text message to Su Jiran. Gu Lingqing is here. I'm eating supper outside. I'll contact you tomorrow. After sending it, she deleted the text message. His heart was thumping, beating very fast. She felt guilty because she had done something bad, but she was more worried that Gu Lingqing's action would annoy Su Jiran. After eating, they went out and saw Su Jiran. He leaned against the car door and curled up the corner of his lips. His eyes were gloomy. He looked at Bai Ye meaningfully and said, Xiaoye, you left in a hurry and left something at my place. Bai Ye's heart skipped a beat. She frowned and looked at Su Jiran in confusion. What did he want to do? Chapter 238. A sharp look flashed past Bai Ye's eyes. She was very unhappy. She stared at Su Jiran. I don't understand either, Su Jiran. What do you mean? Su Jiran smiled evilly. I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I'm going to play cards with my friends nearby. I'll be leaving first. Su Jiran got in the car and drove away. Bai Ye understood. He was just hinting at her that he was everywhere. I don't like him. Stay away from him in the future, Gu Lingqing said to Bai Ye. I don't like him either, Bai Ye said with certainty. The two of them went back. Gu Lingqing was driving. Baiya leaned on the chair and looked at the night view outside the window. If you're tired, sleep first. I'll wake you up when we reach the military base, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Okay. Baiya closed her eyes. There were too many thoughts, and she couldn't fall asleep. She opened her eyes again. I'm thinking, in fact, the 5 people who slaughtered the village know each other. As long as we know one of them, we can get the other 3 out. Do you want some benefits? Do you want to use the treasure to set up a trap? I have the same idea. There's no hurry. When I get that piece of land, we'll have plenty of time to set it up, Fu Yuhuang said in a low voice. Baiya really felt that she and Gu Lingqing were very compatible. Their personalities were similar and their thoughts were the same. They could listen to each other's thoughts and would compromise for each other. They were soulmates in the truest sense. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing about little Tian. Gu Lingqing, do you have any monitoring devices in your car? Baiya asked tentatively. The car will be inspected after entering the military base. There might be monitoring devices installed when we leave the car. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked on purpose. I'm just asking. Baiya didn't say anything else. She leaned on the chair and looked out of the window. She wanted to gamble for herself. She told Gu Lingqing about Xiao Tian. If Gu Lingqing rescued Xiao Tian, she could be with Xiao Tian and would not have to leave Gu Lingqing. Their family would be very happy. What if he lost? Baiya's heart skipped a beat. The image of little Tian being so careful and pitiful flashed across her mind, and her heart tightened. If he lost, Gu Lingqing would find a way, right? The car entered the military area. Gu Lingqing parked the car in the garage. Baiya saw that someone really went to check if there were any surveillance cameras in the car. As soon as they entered the house, the security officer ran over and reported, Chief, we found a listening device under the base of your car. Gu Lingqing looked at Baiya. Baiya and Gu Lingqing looked at each other. Let's deal with the Qin first. Is there anything strange in my apartment? The anti-surveillance in the apartment is normal, the security officer reported. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand and went back to the room. Tell me, what are you hiding today? I went to Su Jiran's place this afternoon, Baiya said. And then? He found Xiao Tian, our child. Now our child is in his hands, Baiya said. There was a strange bitterness and guilt in her heart. What did he ask you to do? Gu Lingqing frowned. Her eyes sharpened, and there was a murderous look in them. To choose between you and Xiao Tian, Baiya explained. Now Gu Lingqing knew why she had been acting so strangely that day. You made the right decision. Gu Lingqing walked towards the door. Baiya held Gu Lingqing's arm worriedly. Su Jiran said that if I told you, he would take Xiao Tian away so that I would never be able to find him. Gu Lingqing, I think Su Jiran has influence in your army. Don't act rashly. If I can't find Xiao Tian, I won't be at ease for the rest of my life. Gu Lingqing turned to look at her. Her eyes were dark. How much time did you buy from him? 3 months. 3 months later, he arranged for me to fake my death. Gu Lingqing sneered. She was full of disgust for Su Jiran. He really has a way. He can even fake his death. I will arrange it. Don't worry, we will definitely save our child. Baiya couldn't be at ease. She knew that she was gambling. If she won, everyone would be happy. If she lost, she was really afraid that she couldn't bear it. Gu Lingqing saw through Baiya's worry. He went forward and gave her a light kiss on her forehead. Just pretend that you didn't tell me anything. Do what you want to do. If you do this, Su Jiran will see through you. Baiya nodded. She knew that what Gu Lingqing said was right, but she couldn't control her worry. Then I'll go pack my things first, Baya said. She turned around and went to her room to pack her things. After a while, Gu Lingqing also came in. Is it done? Baya asked worriedly. I have a team of dark shadows. They come and go without a trace. I've already given the order. What if Su Jiran's men are in the dark shadows? What should we do? Baya now trusted no one except Gu Lingqing. This is a secret mission. It won't get out. Don't worry, I will let you know if there is any news. Don't worry, the child is ours. I will definitely save him. I swear, Gu Lingqing promised. Baya was a little relieved. However, after lying on the bed, she still couldn't fall asleep as she tossed and turned. Gu Lingqing gently placed his hand on her waist and pulled her into his arms. Xiaoya, have a good sleep. Only when you have a good sleep will you be able to fight with 100% of your energy. If you don't sleep now, you won't be of any help to us at all. Gu Lingqing said. Gu Lingqing's voice was deep, with the hoarseness of the night. She knew that what he said was right. She tried to persuade herself, but she couldn't sleep. She just couldn't. I'm going to the washroom. Baya got up, took her bag, walked to the washroom and poured out a pill. She took the pill and looked at Gu Lingqing in the mirror. He looked at her worriedly. Baya just smiled. Sleeping pills. This kind of medicine will cause dependence if you take it for a long time. I will try to control it in the future, but not today. My thoughts are a little messy and I can't sleep. Baya passed by Gu Lingqing and lay on the bed. Gu Lingqing lay behind her and hugged her. How long have you been taking the sleeping pills? More than 3 years. Baya didn't want to lie to him. Her head was very heavy, so she closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing frowned tightly, and his eyes were dark. He kissed her forehead. Don't take the medicine in the future. If you don't want to sleep, I won't sleep with you. Slowly, it will get better. What answered Gu Lingqing was her light breathing. He didn't know if she was asleep or unconscious. Gu Lingqing's heart ached, and his eyes were very deep. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.